94%. Chapter 561. With 80 million spirit stones, Lin Haoyang couldn't help but twitched. You might as well just grab it. Everyone present, almost like Lin Haoyang, took a breath and lit up. Some of them couldn't believe it. The number is really 80 million, which is too huge, just like an astronomical figure. However, if you think about it carefully, if you have 80 million spirit stones, you can buy a chance. I am afraid that some people will join this spirit stones at all costs. 80 million spirit stones looked like a lot, but the extremely cultivator was able to get it together. Before Lin Haoyang entered the secret realm, he was worth more than 40 million. However, this price still scared 99% of people, and this price is too high. Lin Haoyang couldn't help but cast his gaze to the nascent soul female cultivator not far away, and saw that the other party trembled all over, obviously very angry. 80 million spirit stones, demon cultivator wanted to get together at once, it was not easy. Just when Lin Haoyang sighed, the nascent soul female cultivator actually spoke. 81 million spirit stones. With this opening, countless spiritual thoughts rushed to her, and the eyes of the three-tier cultivator were all focused on her. At this moment, it is either demon cultivator or demon cultivator's accomplice. When you speak, it means that the opponent will face death next. 10 dead and no life situation. Lin Haoyang finally understood that the other party was trembling just now. It might not be angry, but trembling in fear. She must have received the news just now that the person behind her asked her to bid, and she also knew that once the bid was made, she would have no way to survive. A cultivator on the 8th floor of Nascent Soul is under control. It can only be said that there must be a demon cultivator hidden in this secret realm. There may be more than one. It may be on the 1st floor, on the 2nd floor, or on the 3rd floor. The whereabouts of this demon cultivator are mysterious, and it is possible that the person next to you is a hidden demon cultivator. The people around Lin Haoyang dodged one after another, not wishing to have anything to do with him. Lin Haoyang is the same. If he is misunderstood at this time, it is not a good thing. Is this the reputation of the Sword League? We all dare to buy it. Can you still buy it? Nascent soul female nun asked in a cold voice. At this time, all the talents came back to their senses, and they are still in the auction, and a demon cultivator is attending the auction in an upright manner. At this time, does Zhanmeng still keep its promises? Qinshan Taoist smiled. Just got the news, continue the auction. Sell. Why not? The reputation of the Sword League is the best in the world. Is there still that fellow Taoist bid? As soon as the voice of Qinshan fell, a cultivator on the 3rd floor said. 9 million spirit stones. Qinshan smiled and said. Look, isn't this someone bidding? Don't worry. Do you want to increase it? Lin Haoyang's mouth twitched. This Qinshan Taoist is really powerful. This is to encourage everyone to bid, so that the person behind can't sit still. The female sister of Nascent Soul didn't look pretty. Just as Lin Haoyang thought, these people were just asking the price indiscriminately, and didn't even want to buy it. I heard that the Sword League cultivator needs to verify assets for buying, auctioning, and buying. The senior upstairs doesn't know if he is carrying 90 million spirit stones with him. If you deliberately make trouble, please ask Qinshan Senior to implement the rules of the Sword Alliance. Nascent Soul female monk. On the 3rd floor, the cultivator of the 90 million spirit stones who just became a monk twitched his mouth. He had forgotten this point. Who will carry 90 million spirit stones with them? What a joke. Just when he was in a hurry. Lin Haoyang said, if the senior is in a hurry, I have millions of spirit stones here, and I can be driven by senior. But senior can make an IOU. As soon as Lin Haoyang spoke, everyone in the audience was not stupid. They immediately understood what Lin Haoyang meant, and said one after another. Senior, I also have a million spirit stones here. Senior, remember to pay ES. Senior. Suddenly, the secret realm borrowed spirit stones from the cultivator in secret realm. This is almost 1 or 2 billion. The cultivator who spoke on the 3rd floor laughed and said. Thank you, friends. In this way, I have this asset in comparison. In this case, I will add another 30 million, 120 million spirit stones to buy this magic dragon spar. The female cultivator Nascent Soul twitched her mouth. No matter how stupid she was, she could still hear that the cultivator played with her, but the Sword Alliance never thought of giving them the magic dragon spar. At this moment, the Nascent Soul female hostile suddenly got up and said. I heard that Zhanmeng not only collects spirit stones, but also collects spiritual objects and news as collateral. I don't know if I have 2 news here. How much spirit stones should be worth? Nascent soul female sister said harshly. Lin Haoyang frowned. These demon cultivators are not stupid, expecting that Jianmeng will not really sell them the demon dragon spar, and they are also prepared to come. Qinshan Taoist frowned, but he didn't expect the nascent soul sisters to come out like this. After waiting for a while, he said. Then it depends on what news you are. Some news is valuable, some worthless. Sister Nascent Soul smiled. To be honest, when she heard the news just now, Xingzong was shocked, and she couldn't believe it. The first one, Long Zuzi, one of the 7 great combinations of your human race, has fallen at this moment. Even if he hasn't completely died, he just retains a trace of true marriage power. As soon as the sister Nascent Soul said this, the audience was silent, and then the pot exploded. What's the meaning? Long Zuzi is dead. The Foundation Building and Golden Core present may not know what happened, but the Nascent Soul and Washan present do. Long Shuzi planted the ambush of Demon Cultivator and was besieged by Heart's demon ancestor and Nan Buyi. He was seriously injured and dying. Fortunately, the sword bearer was rescued in time to save his life. Now this Nascent Soul sister said that Long Zuzi is dead. So who is the man who guards the southern border of the human race now? What the sword bearer said that day was fart. At this moment, even if Lin Haoyang had some doubts in his heart, did Long Zuzi really have an accident? Otherwise, how can this person dare to talk nonsense? Nonsense. Although Long Zuzi Sr. was injured for the first time, but now he is sitting in the southern border of the human race, how could something happen? The demon words confuse the crowd, and if I dare to disturb my heart, I will kill you today. Qinshan Taoist said. A spirit power turned into a long whip and drew it straight on the nascent soul sister. The nascent soul female cultivator is not weak, but how can she withstand a blow from the cultivator? Suddenly the skin broke and the devilish energy could no longer be hidden, and it emerged from the wound. Qinshan hit it directly into its original form, which was like stabbing a hornet's nest. Everyone in the audience thought that the nascent soul female cultivator was just deceiving the crowd. Lin Haoyang was standing by, frowning. How true is this woman's words? Regardless of whether there is a problem with Ji-Link-Si, I am afraid that the state is not very good at the moment. Otherwise, the Sword League will not spend such a high price to start the Holy Maiden project. It is very likely that he wants to fill the gap of Long Zuzi. Ha 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 ha, I'm laughing. When countless people in Heart's Demon saw this scene that day, you said I was laughing. It was not the 2 who besieged and killed Long Zuzi that day, but the 3. 2 can resist. What about the 3? Seeing that he couldn't match that day, Long Zuzi directly exploded a ray of true soul that escaped with the help of magical item. Do you think I know? And do you know the key? What you know is what the sword bearer wants you to know. You said, how much is my news worth? The female demon cultivator smiled crazily, very crazy. Don't you use cultivation base to oppress me? Come, anyway, it's all death, I want to do it too, you are not happy. 94%. Chapter 562. Good news. As soon as this remark came out, Lin Haoyang couldn't help but raise a trace of misgivings. This demon cultivator felt such a statement, I am afraid it is not without reason. Also, is the Long Zuzi in the southern territory of human race true or not? 3 in harmony. Who is the other person? Could it be that in recent years, the demon sect has once again produced a strong man in harmony? Everyone in Nanbai knows that he is a legendary figure among rogue cultivators. If it weren't for a lot of evil, I'm afraid it will become the leader of the world's rogue cultivators. The sword bearer returned with his head last time. Who told him to do something bad? He refused to take refuge in Demon Cultivator, and he also calculated against Long Zuzi, forcing the sword bearer to take action and behead him personally. The ancestors of Heart's Demon and Nan Buyi joined forces. Even if Long Zuzi was lost, he would definitely be able to escape, but now that there is an extra one, it is hard to say. Because everyone doesn't understand this extra Hidao, a sneak attack by a Hidao is absolutely fatal. So, what is the situation of Long Zuzi now? The 3rd floor is just north, and the elders who enter the Taoism are also frowning. He knew that Long Zuzi had a problem, but he had been in closed-door training, and he didn't know the specific situation. If Long Zuzi really had a problem, the matter would be troublesome. Now that the fairy tomb is about to open, the Holy Sun Holy Maiden has not been fully cultivated, and there is a gap in the human state. If the war on the 4 sides resumes, how can the human state survive? I am afraid that the number of people who can go to the fairy tomb will be greatly reduced. Do you know the specific situation of Long Zuzi Sr.? Ask the expert in Taoism. Experts in Taoism often closed-door training, and only swordsmen have the right to wake them up. Now that such a big thing has happened, Demon Cultivator knows about it. Nobody in the human race knows yet. What else is this playing? The face of the late-stage cultivator next to the old man was gloomy, and he didn't expect this demon cultivator to be so difficult. Now that it was said in front of so many people, it must be impossible to hide it. If it is not done well, there will be a turmoil in the human race. I don't know much. Long Zuzi Sr. was seriously injured, and he is currently training in closed-door training. The southern part of the human race is just a projection of the Swordbearer Senior. But seniors don't have to worry. The Swordbearer Senior has sent 3 enlightened seniors and a large number of cultivators to guard. Even if there is something, there will be no problem in a short time. Hua Shen, late-stage cultivator, said. The old man's heart condensed. She knew that there were no more than 10 human beings who have entered the path. Now there are 3 people who are in charge of the selection of the Holy Son, Holy Maiden. Here he controls the auction and the demon cultivator in the human race. There are still 3 people sitting in the southern border of the human race. If so, the powerful people who can still be used by the human race today are probably also used passively. And it is very likely that it is guarding the East China Sea. Now this situation requires a sword-bearer to suppress the quartet, and that party needs to deal with riots. If no one guards the East China Sea, I am afraid that many people will die. Of course, once the East China Sea once again took action on the human race, the 3 masters of Taoism would definitely not be able to hold on, and it would only be a short delay. But at this time, Emperor Xiangliu didn't dare to appear at will. The human race now has a fairy talisman. Now this magic talisman is a life-saving talisman as well as a life-saving talisman. No, it can guarantee that the demon emperor dare not slaughter the mortals of the human race at will. When it was used, it was time for the demon emperor to act unscrupulously. However, before this magic talisman was used, no one dared to act rashly. The stronger, the less dare it. The greatest threat to the human race now is Emperor Xiangliu of the East China Sea. Therefore, even though the East Sea clan is the strongest, it has the most sloppy offense, because this magic talisman is most likely to fall on Emperor Xiangliu's head. In comparison, the Black Dragon Demon Emperor is much safer, too weak to be used. What? Are they all stupid? This news, 50 million spirit stones, is that enough? The nascent soul sister was very arrogant at the moment. She knew she would almost die this time, so she was no longer afraid. Let it go once before you die. Qinshan Taoist was very helpless. He was still shocked by the news. Long Zuzi was seriously injured and dying. He didn't know it before. Unlike other people's guesses, he did not get the above answer. I am afraid this matter will become true in 7 times. What if this news is true? How much is the value of spirit stones? If it is usual, such important news is priceless. How many spirit stones have to be replaced? But now, the news is terrible, he would rather not hear it. Soon, the person above finally gave him an answer. This news counts her 50 million spirit stones. Qinshan Taoist was taken aback. This was to admit it. Will he be killed? He has to be prepared and wait for the divine sense sound transmission. I am afraid it will squeeze him. Well, this news counts you as 50 million spirit stones. What more news do you have? Yes, the people of the Sword League came out to admit this. Just want to know, this demon cultivator, what else does it know? The audience is boiling again. Does Zhanmeng admit it? If this is true, isn't human race south in danger now? Without a cultivator guarding, demon cultivator is not wanton massacre. How come this far? As expected by Qinshan Taoist, a large number of cultivators approached him to transmit his voice, wanting to inquire whether things were true or false. Qinshan Taoist's complexion is ugly, too much, his head is about to burst at this moment, and all kinds of people are asking him for inquiries. If there is no conclusion, I am afraid that today's auction will not go on. The 11 cultivators in the north of the 3rd floor are also dignified. At this time, it is not easy for them to make a conclusion. I am afraid that this kind of thing needs to be solved by a cultivator. When the old man was helpless, he heard the voice of the sword bearer in his mind. Admit it, you can't hide it. But tell them that the Holy Maiden selection is now over. The 2 newcomers have appeared together. After the cultivation base is consolidated, they will head to the southern border of the human race to guard the demon cultivator. Quote. With the words of the sword bearer, the old man relaxed now, and he was even more delighted. It is a blessing for the human race to successfully promote the 2 gangs. Everyone, Ji Lingxi Sr. is indeed seriously injured. He is healed in the bronze sword at this moment, but he returns to the heavenly pill, and he can recover after a few decades. As for the southern territory, there is no need to worry. The Holy Maiden selection of the Holy Maiden has ended, and the two holy children have joined the road. After the cultivation base is consolidated, they will go to the southern territory to guard. So please don't worry, the old man said. Regarding this statement, a group of powerful people swept the secret realm, and the secret realm suddenly became quiet. Everyone knew that it was the tycoon-level existence of the Sword League who had spoken. Moreover, it is still good news that Long Zuzi was indeed injured, but he was not so successful, and he could recover in a few decades. For decades, for the Hidao cultivator, it was time to close the door. Mu Zuzi had been in the secret realm for hundreds of years. More importantly, the human race also has 2 new Hidao born. This is the big event. Calculated in this way, human race now has a total of 9 great harmony, which has come to the culmination of history. Lin Haoyang was also overjoyed. She knew that the other party didn't need to lie about this kind of thing. Holy Maiden's result would be known as soon as it came out. There was no need to slap her own face. His only worry now is whether his senior brother Uyangji will succeed. Everyone was in a roller coaster ride, panicked to excitement. At this moment, it is uncomfortable. I am afraid that only the sister of nascent soul is the mother. Even so, do you think you have a chance? Do you know, where does the extra Hidao come from? She is not a demon cultivator. Nor is it a cultivator of your human environment. The female demon cultivator was dissatisfied with a smug expression. 94%. Chapter 563. The auction is over. At this moment, Lin Haoyang was shocked. Even if Lin Haoyang saw the lively Buddha pagoda, the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda in the Sea of Knowledge, or the dragon and phoenix twin spirits in Dantian, he was shocked. Not the cultivator of this world. That is, people from other immortals found them here. In this way, things are not good. Not to mention other things, just the bronze magical item that rises into the clouds can make these other fairy cultivators jealous. Even if it is not lightly damaged, it is still a magical item of the Daluo Jinxian level. If it can be repaired, at least it can be restored to the level of the immortal king. With such a weapon, can the immortal cultivator not be tempted? But for Lin Haoyang and the others in this world today, the immortals are too strong, and they have become legends, invisible. Such a strong person coming to their world is definitely a devastating disaster. But fortunately in the misfortune, the cultivator sent this time is just a cultivator. Maybe there is some reason why the immortal cannot come down personally. In this way, the human race still has a chance. If what demon cultivator said is true, then the human race is indeed dangerous. Demonic beasts, demon cultivator, foreign race, these things are extremely tricky, and if one fails, the human race may be destroyed. Of course, not everyone understands the meaning of TNY, even if the cultivation base has reached Washan, and there is not enough knowledge, it is not only the meaning of TNY. Therefore, many people understand what the non-demon cultivator said just now, but those who understand have extremely solemn expressions. Qinshan Taoist obviously knows things outside the sky. After all, the human race came from outside the sky, and they also know how attractive their world is to the immortal realms outside the sky. What you said is true. Qinshan Taoist asked. The female demon cultivator smiled and said, what good is it to lie to you? You judge whether it's true or false. How much do you think my news is worth? Can you exchange that piece of magic dragon spar? The murderous look in Qinshan Taoist's eyes filled him. This was provoking him. Naked provocation. It's also demon cultivator's provocation to the human race. How about it? Today's human race is enemies from all sides. Don't think that if you have 2 more people, you have a chance of victory. Being able to come to join forces from the outside world proves that the strength is not weak. Now it seems that the people outside the heaven are the greatest threat to the human race. On the 3rd floor of the auction, the expert who entered the path once again received the sound transmission from the sword holder. At this point, even he was shocked. The sword holder actually asked him to hand over the demon cultivator to the demon cultivator. Is it true that the sword bearer is not afraid that demon cultivator will get this spar, and then a demon cultivator of realm? If there is another demon cultivator from realm, I am afraid that the human race will be completely passive. However, the sword bearer has his own plan, and people like Qinshan can only execute it. Soon, Qinshan received the news. His face was incredible, and he asked for a few words, but did not get a response. His task was to hand over the magic dragon spar in his hand to the opponent. Qinshan gritted his teeth. even if he knew this was extremely unwise, he still chose to obey the order. The Sword Alliance counts. This thing belongs to you now. After all, Qinshan moved his hand and threw the magic dragon spar directly to the sister of nascent soul. After receiving the magic dragon spar, a pure magical energy poured into the body of the nascent soul female sister, and the cultivation base bottleneck suddenly loosened, showing signs of breakthrough. Good things, absolutely good things. If this thing is hers, she also has the capital to attack Hidao. But as soon as she had this thought in her mind, consciousness C suddenly hurt. The restrictions that had been planted in her mind worked, making her consciousness C very painful. She knew that this was her master's warning, and once she really put this idea into practice, it might be when she died. Fortunately, her master had agreed to him before, and once the matter was done, she would lift the restrictions in the sea of knowledge. Without restrictions, she was really free now. Putting the magic dragon spar into the storage bag, the female demon cultivator asked with a solemn expression. You now know who I am, don't you kill me. The Sword League has rules. You can't do anything in the Celestial City. When you leave the Celestial City, you just wait to be chased by countless people. Everyone obeyed the orders and stared at her. Once she was out of the Celestial City, she would kill with all her strength and get back the magic dragon spar. Qinshan Taoist said. All wait to obey. The people on the scene, all three layers of killing intent are condensed. They can't let the female demon cultivator leave safely, let alone leave with the demon cultivator. Lin Haoyang narrowed his eyes. What does Zhanmeng mean? When dealing with demon cultivator, when did you still talk about the rules? At this moment, countless people are staring at the female demon cultivator. Her every move is under the eyes of everyone, making him extremely uncomfortable. Killing and not killing, just hanging like this makes it even more scared. She also knew that Zhanmeng wanted to catch the person behind her, but she also wanted to live, and now it depends on whose method is higher. The auction is still going on, the last one. There are a lot of good things, but everyone is not thinking about competition. Some good things were taken by people without much competition, and these people picked up the bargain. Lin Haoyang didn't make another move. This time the harvest was not small. The materials for recasting Junyu were enough, and they could be used for a long time in the future, and the quality of the materials was sufficient. In the future, his power will increase again, as long as some more materials are added. Soon, the last auction item came on stage. As the finale of this auction, it was naturally not a common item. A Tier 7 magical item at the pinnacle of the lower grade Tier 7 has a starting price of 30 million spirit stones, with an increase of no less than 1 million spirit stones each time. In the end, this magical item was acquired by a family of 7 rank strength at the price of 57 million spirit stones. 57 million spirit stones, an absolute sky-high price, if you know that Nanbai's reward was only about 130 million. At this price, only the strength of these ancient sects can come out. A late-stage cultivator, a family property, can only be 30 or 40 million spirit stones at most. This is a wealthy cultivator with a background. Therefore, if you want to win this Tier 7 magical item, you probably won't have the chance to rely on that person. After all, it is impossible for you to sell your whole body worth and get this magical item, which is a bit too extreme. Not to mention whether you can buy it. Even if you buy it, what about your cultivation in the future? If there is a big battle, you will have no money to buy medicine pill. This kind of magical item can only be bought by those sects with deep foundation. Taking out these 57 million spirit stones, these sects will not be unraveling, at most they will have a few years of hardship. But with this 7th order magical item, sect strength will be greatly ascension. In this way, sect has been developed instead. A late-stage cultivator has a Tier 7 magical item in his hand. It doesn't matter if you are in the same way, you can still fight a battle if you are a strong one. There is such a method. As long as the descendants of sect are not too bad, then this sect is difficult to weaken. This is the foundation. The stronger the sect, the deeper the foundation and the harder it is to cross it. With this 7th order magical item being photographed, the auction finally ended. After a month, everyone was a little tired. Although tired, everyone still did not dare to relax, and countless people stared at the sister nascent soul, wishing to devour her alive. This is the end of the auction. I think what should you do next, you know. In the next period of time, Caishan City will open the Great Array and turn off all teleporting abilities. You can do it for yourself. Qinshan said. The secret realm was opened again, no longer restricted access. 94%. Chapter 564. The moment the secret realm was opened, some people chose to immediately escape from this secret realm, some chose to stare at the nascent soul female nun, and some stayed in place, wanting to ask what is the situation of those outsiders. Lin Haoyang was not in a hurry to leave at this moment. Now that Caishan City is blocked and the teleportation array cannot be activated, how does he leave? Since I can't leave, I will do things together, find a group of people who are good at divine sense as soon as possible, and complete the contract of the day as soon as possible. Of course, you still have to be more cautious, and it may be convenient to follow him. He seems to be very dangerous. At this moment, in the 3rd floor, I don't know how many people want to kill him. Moreover, she didn't even know who the person who wanted to kill him was. At this time, he saw Qinshan Taoist, the identity he had hidden for so long. It was time to show up. Sometimes, the identity of He Dao disciple is quite useful. As for Demon Cultivator, naturally there is a Sword Alliance Cultivator to solve it, even if he knows that there is a Demon Cultivator behind the female Demon Cultivator. To dare to come to Caishan City to capture the Devil Dragon Spar must be a good method, and there will certainly not be fewer people. Now Zhanmeng is holding the Magic Dragon Spar to bet against the opponent. If you have a better method, the Magic Dragon Spar is yours. If you can't do it, then leave your life here. This is a shame, a naked shame, trying to eradicate the remaining high-rank demon cultivator in the human race, but the demon cultivators have no choice but to come. If they don't come, it will be difficult for them to become united. It is more difficult for demon cultivator to become a He Dao than a human race. Either swallow the origin of a He Dao Devil Dao or use this magic dragon spar. So far, there are only these 2 methods. Without these 2 things, even if your strength reaches the realm, you already have the capital to advance to the realm. You still can't succeed. The heavenly tribulation that stepped into He Dao is too powerful, so powerful that no one can cross it. This is also the reason why Demon Cultivator has a fast cultivation speed, but has not become a climate, and can only converge in the heart's demon world. They can't produce the most top-notch existence. So this piece of Demon Dragon Spar, these incarnations of Demon Cultivator, will seize it at all costs. At this time, it is better than anyone else's means. No longer caring about Demon Cultivator, Lin Haoyang went directly to the center of the round table, imagining the original appearance. Qinshan Senior, Boy Lin Haoyang, 4 disciples under the seat of Ji Lingxi, please ask for something first. Lin Haoyang respectfully said. As soon as Lin Haoyang made a sound, Qinshan Taoist frowned, the disciple of Ji Lingxi. He glanced at Lin Haoyang, felt a little familiar, and instantly remembered who Lin Haoyang was. Are you the one who bought Kunwu Stone? Qinshan Taoist asked in surprise. Lin Haoyang nodded. He didn't deny it, it was unnecessary. He has exploded himself, and the other party still dare to look at the treasures on his body. If the Sword League becomes like this, then the human race will be completely played. Ha ha ha, sure enough, I knew that the thing would not flow out easily, and it really fell into the hands of your family. Come on, what's the matter with you? If it's someone else, it's hard for me to reason, but you are a great hero of our human race, so naturally you won't refuse. Qinshan Taoist said. Lin Haoyang smiled and said. Senior praised, I want to ask, who put this Kunwu stone here for consignment? Qinshan frowned. This kind of thing is not easy to leak, but it violates the principles of the Sword League. But it's not good. The cultivator on consignment here leaves nothing but special transaction codes. Therefore, he doesn't know who the other party is. Qinshan Taoist said it again, letting Lin Haoyang disappointed and lost a clue. Soon, Lin Haoyang asked again, do you know who was the one who gave me a temporary price increase of 2 million spirit stones? Listening to this, Qinshan Taoist smiled. He also remembered Lin Haoyang's appearance at the time. He wanted to laugh, but he couldn't laugh. He could only hold back, and he felt a little uncomfortable. That person's name is Yuqi Guihong, a powerhouse of the 9th level of God transformation. I didn't expect to snatch this Kunwu stone with you. You are rich and powerful. The other party may have guessed some of your identity, so the bidding did not continue. Qinshan Taoist couldn't help thinking. Yuqi Guihong, you want to kill me. He has been hiding well, but now he has exposed himself for 2 million spirit stones. The 2 million spirit stones spent no complaint. On the 3rd level of the secret realm, Yuqi Guihong's expression suddenly changed. He was still careless. At that time, the price was increased at 0 hour, and he just wanted to tease Lin Haoyang. Unexpectedly, I fell in and exposed myself. As a result, it would be much more difficult to deal with Lin Haoyang. Moreover, after they were exposed, once Lin Haoyang had an accident, I'm afraid that Ji Lingxi would find them trouble. The energy of a cultivator must not be underestimated, this time it is completely troublesome. Yuqi Guihong was a little irritable. He didn't expect Lin Haoyang to be so treacherous. He just made one offer and let the other party grab the handle. Qinshan Daoist thought that Lin Haoyang was in Yuqi Guihong's anger, and said, Lin Xiaoyu doesn't have to be angry. The opponent is not weak, but from the 7th rank sect, even if it is a senior, you have to give him 3 points. Lin Haoyang is interested, 7 rank sect. That is to say, the opponent sect has passed the cultivator. Sure enough, it's not that simple. How can ordinary people dare to hit his idea? Moreover, after the death of the 2 gods, there was no reaction at all. How could the strength be weak? It was really weak. When Ji Lingxi conducted a thorough investigation, I'm afraid it had already been found out. 7th rank sect is not weak, but Lin Haoyang is also fearless. I have a living master of the Tao, and I am afraid that one is dead. He really wanted to annoy him. He asked master to take action. Now that Ji Lingxi is in charge of the magical item of Immortal Tao, the 9 major combos of combat power can be ranked 2nd. Isn't it easy to destroy you a 7th rank power? Knowing who the other party was, Lin Haoyang finally let go of a big rock in his heart. Qinshan Sr., when will this big formation be closed? I rushed back. Lin Haoyang asked again. Those big fish will not come out. The formation will not be closed for 1 day, but at most 3 months. If 3 do not come out, the magic dragon spar must be strongly recovered and destroyed. It is not that they are joking. This time they will also have to accept it. No, you have to pick it up. Qinshan rode. Lin Haoyang nodded. 3 months, not too long, he could still wait. Lin Haoyang bid farewell to Qinshan Daoist and walked out of this secret realm. After staying here for 3 months, he was a little tired. As soon as he came out of the secret realm, a divine sense fell on him, and Lin Haoyang frowned. Can't you wait? That being the case, I have fun with you guys. After leaving the secret realm, he changed his appearance. He knew that he could not get rid of the other party, but he would not attract the attention of others. Today's Caitian city is not peaceful, but there are cultivators searching for demon cultivator everywhere. There were more eyes gathered on the female demon cultivator than Lin Haoyang. Soon, Lin Haoyang found a shop and bought information about Yuqi Guihong. Wanshanzong sect leader, cultivation base, the peak of transformation, age unknown. Wanshan sect, 7th rank sect, 4 members of the Washan cultivator in the sect. In addition to Yuqi Guihong, there are 2 Washan middle stage and 1 Washan early stage. Sitting on 3 6th order spiritual veins, a 7th order mountain guardian formation, hundreds of nascent soul, more than 1 million cultivators, it is extremely large. In the Sword League, he has a lot of right to speak. This time the selection of the Holy Sun Holy Maiden, Yang Kongu came from the Wanshan sect. Looking at the opponent's strength, Lin Haoyang just smiled, very strong, but what? Dare to kill me? Dare not, then continue to wait. When he becomes a god of transformation, he will commit suicide on the 10,000 mountain sect and destroy the sect. 94%. Chapter 565. Lin Haoyang did not continue to hide. He knew it was useless, except for cultivation, it was refining and purifying several materials. Let them inject Lin Haoyang's blood essence to make the final refining smoother. Also, Lin Haoyang inquired that the station of Baihua Yimai was not far from Caitian City. Although there are people in Caitian City, there is only one nascent soul late-stage cultivator, which is of no use to him. What he was looking for was the Tianjiao in the line of 100 flowers, the Tianjiao in the transformation stage. For Lin Haoyang today, only the transformation was somewhat helpful. Soon, 3 months came. During these 3 months, there was chaos in Caitian City, and the voices of demon cultivator were everywhere. In 3 months, the female demon cultivator with the magic dragon spar, the cultivation base has grown to the 9th floor of nascent soul. In just 3 months, there has been such an improvement, which is enough to show how powerful the demon cultivator is to demon cultivator. But her life is not easy. No matter where she goes, people are staring at him. These days, she has been among the Sword League cultivator and demon cultivator, and her mind is very exhausted. Especially today, when the Sword League stipulates a period of 3 months, if the demon cultivator is still unwilling to do it, I am afraid that today is her death date. Obviously I have seen the light, and now hope is shattered again. This is the most uncomfortable. Boom. To the east of Caitian City, a huge explosion sounded, and a huge mushroom cloud emerged, sweeping the surrounding power. At the same time, a huge mushroom cloud rose in the west, south, and north of Kaishan City. Lin Haoyang couldn't help but change his face when he saw those mushroom clouds that had risen. That thing was definitely formed by the explosion of the sixth order magic talisman. 4 sixth order magic talisman exploded. The power can be imagined. If you don't care, there will be countless deaths and injuries. As the main city of the human race, it is natural to have thought of this happening a long time ago. The seventh order large formation of the open sky formation is naturally not a decoration. A huge pressure fell from the sky, and the failure of the explosion in all directions was almost instantly suppressed. At the same time, the 4 cultivators rushed to the third brother, instantly suppressing the power of the amulet. But when they arrived, the person who cast the magic talisman had been overwhelmed by the power of the magic talisman, leaving nothing behind. However, the scene was still in a mess. Demon cultivator chose very good places, all densely populated. No matter how fast the formation was suppressed, thousands of people died tragically in an instant, and the 4 rushing gods all looked pale. Damn demon cultivator, the group of demon cultivator is so angry in Kaishan City. Suppress with all your strength, just take it. There was an angry shout from the sky, and the senior leaders of the Sword League couldn't stand it anymore. Since you don't want to have a good fight, then you won't give a chance. In an instant, more than a dozen gods' palms grabbed the nascent soul female demon cultivator. The nascent soul female demon cultivator's face changed wildly. She could only feel the pressure of her body, unable to move. Oh, must I be forced to wait for dedication? At this moment, a voice came out, and a total of 9 figures appeared in the sky above Kaishan City. These figures are all pitch black like a demon, with devilish energy all over them. The 9 gods of demon cultivator, beyond everyone's expectations. This time, I am afraid that most of demon cultivator's strength is here. Moreover, the aura of the first 3 demon cultivator is extremely large, far surpassing the others. Lin Haoyang's pupils shrank, and there were still 3 strong people who entered the Dao. No wonder demon cultivator feels so arrogant. Boom. There were several explosions, and the 6th order magic talisman exploded. It seems that this time, demon cultivator is extremely well prepared. Lin Haoyang frowned. The place where the photo burst this time seemed to be in one place, the place where the teleportation formation was located. At this moment, everyone's expressions were no longer stable. The teleportation formation was destroyed, and the sword bearer couldn't immediately assist. Don't worry, the teleportation array is protected by formation, so Mo'o is so easy to be destroyed. In a quarter of an hour, only a quarter of an hour, the teleportation array can be restored. Kill me. What about the 3 gangs? Now there are dozens of gods in Kaishancheng, and thousands of nascent souls. Are you afraid of them? The strong man yelled, and then took the 9 people beside him and went straight to the 9. Demon cultivator left. At the same time, there were demon cultivators everywhere in Kaishan City, flying straight to the demon cultivator in the sky. Now it is the home ground of the human race. Killing demon cultivator, that is a great contribution. Who doesn't want to get involved? Even those nascent soul cultivators are rushing forward at this moment, wanting to take the credit. At the same time, Kaishan City's protective mountain formation was working, and the force of suppression was suppressed, and the 9 demon cultivators were restricted to death, and there was no way to escape. The Jianmeng had to pay attention to it. The 6 demon cultivators and the 3 demon cultivators at the Taoist level are too strong. If you can't get rid of today, that sect can block it. As long as there is no Hedao cultivator, even the 7th rank sect can't stop it. This is also the reason why other cultivators are jealous. If they escape today, all sects may be bleached. The bloody lesson is right in front of us. When demon cultivator is currently in the south of the human race, it is the first to take the 6th rank sect. In that battle, the human race 6th rank sect was destroyed by 3 families, which made people fearful. This is the reason for this conspiracy. Otherwise, the Jianmeng would not dare to take such a risk. In case demon cultivator succeeds, one more demon cultivator will really suffer. Just as the cultivator battle of Kong's cultivator was fierce, Lin Haoyang's heart suddenly burst. Fish in troubled waters, it seems that the people of Wanshan sect are going to do something to him. Yuqi Guihong is strong, and he will naturally sell it to deal with demon cultivator, but Lin Haoyang has not seen any of those cultivators that he loves me. Realizing that it was not good, Lin Haoyang fled in an instant, and he could still fight with 1 or 2 Washan early stage, but if there is Washan middle stage or Washan late stage, he is no longer an opponent. However, no matter how he ran, he was already on the spot. The surrounding scenes changed, and countless shadows swept over him, pulling Lin Haoyang into a dark space. Lin Haoyang's complexion changed. Realm, this is a god-transforming powerhouse who pioneered Realm, and Wanshan sect really looked at him. To deal with a nascent soul cultivator, you have to use such a strong one. At the same time, Lin Haoyang also started his own realm power. A piece of heaven and earth rushed out of his body to resist the erosion of the surrounding shadows. You actually comprehend realm. Even so, you are dead today. The cultivator came, and the surrounding shadows increased their strength, and they started to penetrate Lin Haoyang's world. All the black shadows rushed into Lin Haoyang's world, galloping like the place where Lin Haoyang's body was. Even if the realm developed by Lin Haoyang is more powerful, it has even turned into an entity. But the gap between the cultivation base between the two sides is too big, and the other side forcibly invades his world, and he can't resist. The incoming person is a 7th-order cultivator of God transformation, whose strength is too strong, and Lin Haoyang is not an opponent at all. Lin Haoyang fell into the opponent's realm, but his body was still standing, without any movement. His heart had been attacked by the shadows. This is the characteristic of Shadow Realm, murder and 5 shapes. At this moment, the occupation of the sky has also changed. The strong man in the path was Thighs, but he was not afraid at all, but instead laughed and said, "Do you really think you won? No preparation. Will we come to die?" 94%. Chapter 566. The powerful man laughed wildly, and suddenly his hands moved, and a puppet was thrown out by him. This puppet is jade-colored, crystal clear. But as soon as it appeared, no one dared to underestimate it. Everyone felt the threat of death on this puppet. Hidao. This puppet turned out to be a realm puppet. Where did this thing come from? Demon cultivator can already make puppets of this kind of strength. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. If you want to make a puppet of Hidao realm, the materials you need are too cherished, and the world still can't find it. In other words, this puppet is not a product of this world. Thinking about it this way, people immediately discovered that there was no magic in this thing. If it was refined by Demon Cultivator, it would never be so pure. Then this puppet is not a product of this world. It is very likely that it was brought by an outsider to help Demon Cultivator to capture the Demon Cultivator. Now the opponent has a realm puppet, as well as 3 Demon Cultivator powerhouses at the entry level, and their top strength has crushed the Caitian City side. However, Caitian City still occupies an absolute advantage in terms of the number of Washan and Nascent Soul. But, do the people in Caitian City dare to fight Demon Cultivator? Obviously I dare not. Once the Demon Cultivator of Realm launches cultivation base and makes crazy shots, no one can stop it. How many people will die when a Hidao makes a bold move in Caitian City? The Janmeng couldn't afford this loss either. Don't dare to gamble on the lives of Tiancheng. The two sides were caught in 4 rounds, and they couldn't open the Celestial City. No one wanted to go out, but they didn't dare to take action against Demon Cultivator. Once you do it, the people who open the Sky City today will probably die, half of them. How many people are there in Caitian City? In the huge city, besides the cultivator, there are also a huge number of mortals, and the sum is probably not less than 100 million. Half of the death is to die 50 million, with the lives of 50 million people desperately killing these 9 Devil Dao powerhouses. Human race dare not change like this. The battle in the sky is stuck, and Lin Haoyang's side is not much better. The surrounding black shadows had already invaded most of his world. Once the entire world was eroded by this shadow, Lin Haoyang would have no chance again. Feeling the sense of collapse from his own world, Lin Haoyang couldn't help but he said, "Fatu, 8th stage, Feng Ling, kill me. At any cost, kill him for me." In Lin Haoyang's eyebrows, a pagoda emerged and appeared on top of Lin Haoyang's head, instantly immobilizing the space around Lin Haoyang, preventing realm's power from continuing to enter Lin Haoyang's realm. At the same time, the Buddha pagoda appeared in Lin Haoyang's world, swaying lightly, and the surrounding black shadows, like ice and snow, quickly melted and collapsed. Feng Ling came to Lin Haoyang's sea of consciousness, and the power of divine sense broke out instantly. Following the power of realm, he instantly locked the place where the owner of this shadow realm was. Above a restaurant less than 100 meters away from Lin Haoyang, a middle-aged man suddenly shrank his pupils while holding a genuine wine. His realm was broken by Lin Haoyang. How can this be? Even if Lin Haoyang owns realm, how could he break his realm? Ji Lingxi really values you. There are so many treasures. But I don't believe you can't finish it. Do it. Don't give him another chance. The middle-aged man smiled and his figure disappeared. At the same time, there were two people around him who disappeared at the same time. The two people, a fourth-level transforming god and a fifth-level transforming god, were extremely powerful. In order to deal with Lin Haoyang, Wanshan sect was really willing, so he went to the two who were killed by Lin Haoyang, the five gods, just to deal with Lin Haoyang, a nascent soul cultivator. No, the other party has 3 cultivators, run away. Feng Ling's expression changed drastically, and he said in harmony. Lin Haoyang's face sank, and he really looked at him. The 5 gods, at least the middle stage of the gods, could only escape. The moment Feng Ling discovered the other party, Lin Haoyang hardly hesitated, and quickly fled and began to shuttle through Caishan City. Because of the demon cultivator, there are not too many people on the streets of Caishan City at this moment. This is also the reason why the people of the Wanshan sect dared to be so arrogant. As for the Sword League cultivator in the sky, although an anomaly on the ground was also found, it didn't go into too much. 3 transformation gods, besieging a nascent soul, it's a deadly situation. Although I don't know why, it's more important to deal with demon cultivator. At this time, go to the Sword League cultivator. The 3 people behind them will definitely not dare to chase them anymore. Do you kill yourself in front of the Sword League cultivator? But Lin Haoyang didn't dare to go. Didn't you see demon cultivator? There are 3 strong players in the Dao, even the puppets of the Dao period. He rushed over so abruptly, didn't he be a target for the other party? Those horrors exist, and with a single blow, I am afraid that he can be bombed into a bomb. The speed of the 3 transformation gods was a few yards, and within a few breaths, they had already reached 100 meters behind Lin Haoyang, and I was afraid that if there were a few more breaths, Lin Haoyang would be overtaken. Grass. Daddy is not running anymore. Want to kill me? Impossible. Didn't kill me just now. Don't think about it now. The Wanshan sect rebelled. To kill the hero of the human race, I am Lin Haoyang, the 4 disciples under the seat of Jilingxi. Lin Haoyang shouted. As soon as these words came out, the 3 people who chased Lin Haoyang from the rear suddenly changed their expressions, and it was over. Before using realm, Lin Haoyang could be restrained and let him die silently in their hands. But unexpectedly, Lin Haoyang actually broke his realm. Since he dared to use realm to kill Lin Haoyang, he naturally excels on realm. His attainments on realm are better than those of the general cultivator. With Lin Haoyang's shout, it was completely over. Suddenly, a few auras rose in Caishan City. It was the aura of God transformation, and countless nascent soul, golden core and even foundation building auras rose up, crushing towards the 3 people chasing Lin Haoyang. Locked by so much aura, the bodies of the 3 of them stopped dreaming and did not dare to move anymore. With these 3 words, Lin Haoyang himself might not know how brilliant he is in the human race. Disciples of Jilingxi, with honorable status. The discovery of the fairy tomb changed the human race's decades-long plan. Because of the news that Lin Haoyang brought back, countless sects began to lay out the wild world outside the jagged city. In the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda, the younger generation of the Sea clan was overwhelmed and brought back the seal of the immortal Dao, so that the clan can get rid of the crisis. Selected for the selection of Holy Maiden, the aptitude. How many people can do these points? It was even reported before that Lin Haoyang had withdrawn from the selection of Holy Maiden, the Holy Sun, because he realized a different opportunity. One big thing one after another, even if these people have never seen Lin Haoyang, when they heard of this Mingzi, everyone couldn't help but come to help. Lin Haoyang was a little surprised. At this moment, there were 7 or 8 people in the Wanshan sect. To deal with demon cultivator, not everyone has to go, and the ground also needs some cultivators to calm Yubo who is fighting in the sky. Otherwise, once the deity fights, the aftermath alone can kill a group of people. At this moment, those who are eligible to fly into the air are some powerful people, such as the late-stage cultivator of the Wanshan sect, who had to fly into the air. Zhu Chongming, what's going on here? In the sky, the expert of the human race, with a chill in his eyes, stared at the sect leader Zhu Chongming of Wanshan sect. He had obviously recognized that these people who chased the dragon and tiger were from the Wanshan sect. 95%. Chapter 567. Too fierce. If his eyes can kill people, he can't wait to kill those 3 cultivators thousands of times. Even if your sneak attack fails, you still dare to kill with fanfare in Caishan City. He doesn't even know what the other party thinks. Really think that Zhanmang is not prepared. If there is really only one expert in the path guarding Caishan City, would the Sword League dare to play so big? Who would dare to think so? That is the fool of fools, stupid enough. No, these three people, my Wanshan sect has long been eliminated, they are no longer our cultivator of Wanshan sect. Zhu Chongming said. The three together, almost belong to the family of Wanshan sect. Before Immortal Cave assassinated the two early-stage cultivators of Lin Haoyang, they were just rogue cultivators that Zhu Chongming paid for, and they died. But these three people, that's where the 10,000 mountain sect's secrets lie. At this moment, the Wanshan sect, besides him, is an early-stage cultivator who has just been promoted. He must directly abandon the three transformation gods, otherwise, the Wanshan sect may be over. Deng has already been ousted by Wanshan sect. Don't slander you with the reputation of Wanshan sect, or I, Zhu Chongming, will be the first to kill you. Zhu Chongming angrily scolded. You fools, even if you are killed, it has nothing to do with Zhu Chongming, and it has nothing to do with Wanshan sect. The three nascent souls who were chasing Lin Haoyang turned pale when they heard this, they were abandoned. Locked by many divine senses, they also know that they are finished, but being abandoned so quickly still makes them feel painful. It's not that you want me to wait for Lin Haoyang to assassinate Lin Haoyang because of that chance. Now the matter has been exposed. Just want to be clear. Wanshanzong, you only have sect in your heart, so the lives of Wang and the other three are not fate. That being the case, no one should live. Very good. Zhu Chongming, crossing the river to demolish the house, unloading the mill to kill the donkey, this is a second time. You want me to wait for Lin Haoyang to assassinate Lin Haoyang for the opportunity of Lin Haoyang. What do you say that the overall situation is important? I think it's all bullshit, but you just want to become a united way. Over the years, you have repeatedly tried to assassinate Lin Haoyang, but you have been unsuccessful. It has consumed a lot of sect's resources. In your eyes, Wanshan sect is just a stepping stone to your harmony, right? You are very angry if you don't have your place in the selection of the Saint Son this time. Waste. Why are you going? Like us, it's all waste. Quote. Be deceived by you, we came to assassinate Lin Haoyang. But now you are thinking about the demolition of the river, then you don't think about it. Then, the cultivator of the seventh layer of God transformation, how to assassinate Lin Haoyang these years, one by one came out. It is really not easy for Lin Haoyang to survive. Every time he is targeted at him, it is a god. Shut up. 3 trash. Zhu Chongming was so angry that he even said all his plans. At this moment, Zhu Chongming's all thoughts are ashamed, he is over, Wanshanzong is over, just waiting to endure the anger of Jiling's line. After all, there was determination in the eyes of the 3 Hidao, their bodies turned into a stream of light, and they slammed into the 9 demon cultivator. Boom, boom, boom. 3 explosions sounded one after another, which made demon cultivator suffer. The 2 middle stage of the gods, a late stage of the gods, blew themselves up. Even if there is a puppet in the same way, it is difficult to completely stop it. Lin Haoyang watched from the ground and said nothing. The 3 of them finally blew themselves up with demon cultivator, which was a little bit beyond his expectation. Ha ha ha. This is what you call the right way sect. Assassinate heroes and seize opportunities. This is worse than us. Look at us, killing is all righteous. After all, the 9 great combinations no longer keep their hands. Because of the Wanshan sect's move, the scene looks chaotic. Now is the best time. The Hidao puppet punched out, and the space collapsed. Its goal is not the cultivator of the Sword League, but the cultivator on the ground. After this circle, you still know how many people are going to die. At the same time, the 3 paths of Demon Cultivator, the 6 cultivators of the gods, also unreservedly shot, attacking the Caitian city in all directions. For a time, Demon Cultivator methods such as Scarlet Skulls, Ghosts, and Demon Cultivator sounded in an endless stream, and thousands of people were killed in an instant. This is still due to the suppression of the 7th Order formation. 9 people shot, and there must be countless casualties. In the battle between the 2 sides, no one cared about Zhu Chongming. At this moment, he turned into a streamer and came straight to Lin Haoyang. It's all you. How good is it to let me kill? Otherwise, where would there be so many things? Damn it. Seeing Zhu Chongming killed himself, those people before would definitely not be able to protect him. After all, the late stage cultivator and even the middle stage cultivator of the gods have ascended to heaven at this moment. Washan early stage and nascent soul cultivator were busy blocking the missed attacks. For a while, no one cared about Lin Haoyang. After being chased for so long, the clay figurine still has 3 points of fire, and Lin Haoyang's heart has long accumulated a fire. Is the 9th level of transformation great? See if I can kill you today. 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda, Buddha Pagoda, Phoenix Spirit, and a hammer flew out at the same time. Turned into 4 terrifying auras, went straight to Zhu Chongming to kill. After absorbing the black spiritual object, the 8th stage Profound Crystal Pagoda has recovered its 7th order strength, and the Buddha Pagoda and Fengeling are both the middle stage strength of the gods. As for the big hammer, it was a self-defense thing that Ji Lingxi gave him. Failed to have a full blow from Ji Lingxi. Boom! The Buddha Tower shook the mind and immobilized Zhu Chongming for an instant. Feng Ling attacked and intercepted Zhu Chongming's cultivation technique, causing the spirit power of his whole body to collapse, making him unable to use the cultivation base. The 8th stage Mysterious Tower lowered the power of restrictions and trapped it to death. The sledgehammer hit, with a fatal blow, directly smashing most of Zhu Chongming's body to shreds. The people who were following here at the moment were all stunned, a super powerhouse of the 9th layer of God transformation. Excluding He Dao and En Dao, the super strong who can be ranked in the 3rd row is instantly beaten like this by Lin Haoyang. Just kidding. Although it is difficult to kill the gods, there is a limit. The big hammer of the final blow contains the full blow of He Dao. Such a blow cannot be carried even if it is He Dao. These are 2 different levels of power. At this moment, Zhu Chongming was a little confused. How many methods did Ji Lingxi give? Lin Haoyang is not your disciple, but your own son, right? No, even if it's a son, there is no such protection. I know, Lin Haoyang must be a clone of Ji Lingxi, yes, it must be so. Otherwise, it would be impossible for Ji Lingxi to carry all her magical items with Lin Haoyang. The sledgehammer that flew out just now was one of Ji Lingxi's double hammers. Zhu Chongming's remaining 1/3 of his body suddenly rioted, wanting to urge the last trace of strength. However, where would the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda give him a chance? The power of restrictions lowered again, and half of his body was imprisoned again. The ghost of the Buddha and the dragon spirit flashed, instantly suppressing Zhu Chongming's whole body. Up to this moment, Zhu Chongming was shocked to find that he couldn't even run the slightest in spirit power. Moreover, his dantian has been blasted with 1 hammer, spirit power is out of 10, there is not much power to use at all. After a few breaths, Lin Haoyang couldn't resist Zhu Chongming's suppression. This is too exaggerated. Above Caishan City, a figure appeared, and the corners of his mouth twitched too fiercely. 95%. Chapter 568. The figure only hesitated for a while, and then stopped paying attention to Lin Haoyang. Although Lin Haoyang felt the shock here, it was all trivial things. On the demon cultivator side, it was really broken. No way, the puppet of the He Dao realm is too strong. At this moment, the existence of the 3 9th level transformation gods, with the help of 3 7th order magical items, can stop the opponent. Of course, just to stop the opponent and not kill them, the aftermath of the attack caused by the other party will involve more power. There are a total of 4 7th order magical items on the Jianmeng side, and 3 puppets used to block He Dao realm. There is another one, which is held by a late stage of the god of transformation at this moment, and is teaming up with another god of transformation cultivator, barely restraining a demon cultivator. Yes, just barely. Enter realm's demon cultivator, which is too strong. In their eyes, it's not enough to look at the late stage. The Sword Alliance's powerful entrance and the opponent fought fiercely, and did not fall into the disadvantage. But he is in a hurry. Demon Cultivator vacated an entry Demon Cultivator, no one suppressed at this moment, and he was taking a shot unscrupulously. The 8 cultivators teamed up, and they only drew a tie with him. With the addition of 10 cultivators entangled with the other Liuming Demon Cultivator, this time, the human race has dispatched a total of 23 cultivators, one who is strong in Taoism. There are also more than a dozen low-level cultivators of the God of Transformation organization on the ground to set up a large array to block the aftermath of their attack. Without the large formation of more than 10 Huajin and thousands of nascent soul cultivators, so many Huajin fighting here, I am afraid that Caishan City will be destroyed by them. At this moment, the unrestricted nascent soul demon cultivator suddenly cracked an eyebrow, and a dark eyeball appeared abruptly on his forehead. Without any hesitation, a black ray went straight to a cultivator on the 5th floor of the God transformation. The cultivator, who was locked in by the black light, was shocked, and a crisis of death came to his mind. Intuition tells him that the thing is extremely dangerous, and once hit by it, he is very likely to die here. The cultivator retreats abruptly and flees directly, but the light is like a maggot attached to a bone, which can't be shaken off at all, and it follows him closely. The black light is so fast that it has already caught up with him after a few breaths. The cultivator knew that he could not escape, and threw his own defense magical item, trying to block the light. But the black light just touched his defensive magical item. Almost instantaneously, his 6th tier mid-level defensive magical item was penetrated. After passing through the defensive magical item, the speed of the black light disappears, and it will hit the cultivator in a blink of an eye. Be careful. That's the eye of the 7th order magical item Demon Ancestor. Don't be hit by the black light. If you are in harmony, the middle will die. The Elder of the Sword Alliance is in harmony, obviously full of jealousy for that eye. He really didn't expect that since the other party was so fully prepared. The Hidao puppet, the 7th order magical item, this is the blood. If it weren't for Demon Cultivator's inability to use the magical item of an ordinary cultivator, I'm afraid there will be a few more tier 7 magical items this time. Hearing the call of the Elder in the path, the cultivator locked by the black light, his face looked like ashes. Dead, but he still doesn't want to die. They sect still need him. If he dies, I'm afraid their sect will be over. Just when the black light was about to fall on the cultivator, a sword shadow fell from the sky and directly slashed the black light. Slashed with a sword, the black light shattered, like a phantom. This is a full blow of the 7th order magical item, and only Hidao can defeat it so easily. Here comes, finally here, the harmony of the human race is here. Before everyone reacted, the master of that sword had already slammed out again, and went straight to the master of the words of the demon ancestor to kill. There are not too many moves, no cool momentum, a simple sword, simple and innocent, returning to the basics. A sword fell, and the second black light from the eye of the demon ancestor was cut off. Then, Demon Cultivator was shocked. He said, "Why did Hidao come?" They destroyed the teleportation array, and within a quarter of an hour, the sword bearer would not be able to come. Moreover, the sword bearer couldn't get out of his body. The Sea Clan agreed to entangle the sword bearer. Could it be that he couldn't entangle him for a while? No, this person is not a sword holder. The sword holder takes action. I'm afraid he would be dead with just one sword. Who is this harmony? Where does the human race have an extra cultivator? He didn't have time to think. This person's second sword slashed, and Demon Cultivator hurriedly urged a magic weapon to block him in front of him. Puff. This sword is like cutting beans, slicing all his magic weapons. His things are barely worth mentioning in this sword. A sword swept across and cut off his arm. Without waiting for his reaction, the third sword struck again. It was still silent, slowly, but Demon Cultivator didn't dare to be careless. Eyebrow Heart's demon ancestor's words flew out, blocking the third sword, but the eye of the demon ancestor was also chopped by this sword. Exhausted all the means, the demon cultivator finally blocked the 3 swords with his hand, but what did he use to block the 4th sword? He has no more means. The 4th piece was cut, and suddenly the Hidao puppet in the distance was killed, blocking the 4th sword. That's right, he is just dragging time, waiting for the arrival of this puppet. It's just a puppet. You want to stop the real Hidao. The figure smiled, and the sword ray in his hand changed, no longer soft, and the murderous air burst out. A sword slammed out, like a gust of wind and rain, and the Hidao puppet slammed into it without hesitation. Quietly and silently, there was no collision. The Hidao puppet slammed into the empty space with a punch, the space burst, and a space crack with a width of more than 10 battles appeared. Suddenly, the Hidao puppet stiffened, and the power of divine sense stored in his body suddenly disappeared. At this moment, the blood rain fell, and the demon cultivator behind the Hidao puppet was cut in half, and the death could not be 4 more. The sword of the figure is not against the Hidao puppet at all, but the demon cultivator behind him. A puppet is a puppet after all, lacks wisdom, and is manipulated by Western medicine. At this moment, there is less mind control, and naturally it is much more rigid. I can't bear to break such a good thing. After all, the 5th sword was cut out, directly beheading a demon cultivator of the 9th level of God transformation. The gap is too big. In front of the Hidao cultivator, the god of transformation has no room to resist, and he can't hold it with a single sword. Only with the help of the 7th order magical item, can the strong in the Tao withstand the 4 swords. With the appearance of the figure, the balance of war immediately turned to the human side. The sword ray flickered, and with the more than 20 transforming gods on the human side, within less than a stick of incense, the 9 transforming gods, Demon Cultivator, were all beheaded. The last one entered the path, Demon Cultivator, and wanted to blow himself up. The figure did not give the opponent a chance, and a sword fell directly on the opponent's eyebrows. The sky battle was over and Lin Haoyang's side was over. Under the suppression of the 4 magical items, there was no room for resistance at all. Zhu Chongming couldn't even sacrifice the magical item and died in Lin Haoyang's hands. In fact, Zhu Chongming was already very cautious. He launched a total of 3 attacks. The 2 transformation gods early stage, the 3 transformation gods just now, plus himself. Every time it is a crushing force. In Zhu Chongming's calculations, even if Ji Lingxi prefers Lin Haoyang, the 2 life-saving magical items should be indistinguishable. The previous 2 times, Lin Haoyang should have used it. Even if he had any other means, he was a 9-layer cultivator who could handle 1 or 2 things. Moreover, as the sect leader of the 7th rank sect, he also has a 7th order magical item in his hand. Unfortunately, Zhu Chongming didn't have the opportunity to sacrifice magical item, and he died in Lin Haoyang's hands. Lin Haoyang took Zhu Chongming's storage bag and looked at the figure in the sky, frowning slightly. The big disciple of the sword bearer has been promoted to Hidao. Then his brother. Did you make it? 95%. Chapter 569, Unexpected. When Shi Mu was promoted, Lin Haoyang was actually not too surprised. He was hailed as the first person among the transformation gods, and also the big disciple of the sword bearer. He cultivated into harmony, which was expected by everyone. What Lin Haoyang cares about is who is the other person who has cultivated into harmony. At the time of the separation, Ji Lingxi told Lin Haoyang that Ouyang-ji's unsullied body had been trained. With the unsullied body and the power of the 9 rules to help each other, Ouyang-ji's chance should be great. Even if this election was not successful, it won't be long before Ouyang-ji himself can try to break through Hidao. Soon, the demon cultivator chaos was completely put down, but the human side, the loss was not small. Affected by the aftermath of the attack and the explosion of the magic talisman, this time more than tens of thousands of casualties and heavy losses. However, the deaths and injuries of tens of thousands of people are still under control. If Shi Mu did not make a move in the end, the loss of the Sword Alliance this time would be unimaginable. But this time, the results were amazing. Among the 6 late-stage demon cultivators, 3 demon cultivator experts who entered realm. On the ground, there are also about 30 nascent soul demon cultivator entangled with the human race. However, after demon cultivator, the god of heavenly dragon, was beheaded, the group of people couldn't overcome any storms and was quickly wiped out. In addition to the demon cultivator that was killed by the sword bearer before, this is already most of demon cultivator's high-end combat power. Even if demon cultivator still has some means, it is no longer difficult to cause great harm to the Terran area. After this time, there is no need to worry about demon cultivator making too many waves in the territory of the human race for 1,000 years. Now you only need to worry about the Heart's demon ancestor. Although the high-rank demon cultivator has been lost, as long as the Heart's demon ancestor is still there, in the southern part of the human race, you need a cultivator to guard. Moreover, according to the news from demon cultivator seems to be connected to the outside cultivator. Human race south is still unable to relax. Just when Kaishan City was fighting like a raging fire, the southern territory of human race also experienced a thrilling battle. 6 Buddhist gods and 7 other sect gods, led by the 3 masters of Taoism, blocked the attack of the ancestors of Heart's demon. The 16 powerhouses faced the ancestors of Heart's demon, and there was a tendency to lose out. If it weren't for the 6 Buddhist gods to control a 7th order slaying battle, it would have a restraining effect on the ancestors of Heart's demon. Here is the battlefield. It collapsed long ago. At the last moment, when the hidden outside Ko-Dao made a move, when the formation was about to collapse, a Ko-Dao force emerged from the human camp, blocking the strong Ko-Dao from the outside world. This sudden addition of Hidao was the second Hidao selected by Holy Maiden this time. It is not Ouyang-ji, nor Shen Mengchen, who is in the line of 100 flowers, but another 7th rank sect god of transformation with a deep shadow, Li Xiaochuan. Li Xiao is a dark horse, defeated Ouyang-ji and Shen Mengchen, won the 2nd place, and successfully promoted to Hidao. Because of the arrival of Li Xiaochuan, the southern realm of human race faced the attack of the 2 powerful men of the same Dao, relying on the 7th order formation, and it was still difficult to stop it. The Terran has developed a new Hidao, which makes Heart's demon patriarch very uncomfortable, but there is no way it can be done. The human race has a large number of people and a strong foundation, which is not comparable to demon cultivator. Moreover, there is a Hidao cultivator in the southern territory of human race. Naturally, it goes without saying that there will be a Hidao cultivator in Kaishan City. In this way, those demon cultivators are over, alas. Demon Cultivator lost too much in one line, and several plans ended in failure. For the next millennium, they would not want to make a big move. Soon, the ancestor Heart's Demon withdrew and returned to the Heart's Demon world. He couldn't fight. If the sword bearer went south again in this matter, he would be in danger. As for the Hidao messenger from the outside world, just take it for yourself. After being here for so long, it didn't work. For a little suggestion from her, he suffered a heavy loss. Whoever listens to him is a fool. The messengers from the outside also knew that their plan had failed. They did not expect that the cultivator of the human race would have been promoted to the 2 Hidao so quickly, and they were a little caught off guard. Soon, she also withdrew to the Heart's Demon world. In the East China Sea, Emperor Xiangliu retreats, Demon Cultivator is defeated, and there is no threat for thousands of years. It seems that they should look at other seas. Terran, it's not so easy to fight. As the 2 parties retreated, the human race was finally safe. After the Demon Cultivator in Caitian City was wiped out, Caitian City was opened again, and the teleportation array was reopened. Although the Demon Cultivator was completely wiped out, Lin Haoyang sighed. It was not so easy to let go of the Wanshanzong line. The Wanshan sect is very powerful. Although several major cultivators have fallen, even the sect leader has died in the hands of Lin Haoyang. Now only one cultivator is left to guard sect, and the battle cannot be opened. Although there was a sword alliance to preside over justice to Lin Haoyang was not in a hurry. That said, that's not bad. The 7 gods chasing and killing Lin Haoyang, she definitely couldn't bear it, and with the seal of the immortal Dao, she killed the Wanshan sect. Wanshan sect has a 7th order mountain guarding formation. If it provokes others, it will not even be broken through the mountain gate. But at this moment, Ji Lingxi held the immortal Dao seal, and when he smashed it down, the great formation collapsed directly and couldn't stop it at all. The Wanshan sect cultivator is like the end of the day. Under the common way, there is no room for resistance. At this time, it will be a disaster for annihilation. The people of Wanshan sect did not expect how they would provoke this one. Ji Ling, look at my face. Is it good to leave Wanshan a line of life? Wanshan sect leader Peak, a phantom rose. That was the ancestor of the Wanshan sect, the phantom of the real person of Wanshan sect. It should be the method he left behind to protect the Wanshan sect before his death. The phantom appeared, and Ji Lingxi didn't make any more deadly moves. Everyone who joined the Dao had a great deed to the human race and should not be humiliated. The 4 gods of your sect are chasing and killing my disciple for the sake of the king's disciple. This matter can't destroy the sect. But there must be punishment. 100 million spirit stones, 3 Zishao pills, 10 Yuying pills, 10 5-element spirit fruit trees, 100 amethyst crystals, and 1000 Jinji purple pills. After all, the immortal seal on the top of Ji Lingxi's head is planted. If this phantom does not agree, I am afraid that under this seal, the entire Wanshan sect will be gone. Hearing the conditions of Ji Lingxi bow, Lin Haoyang's eyes lighted up. This is simply a robbery. If Xuanzhenzong had these things, his strength would have a rapid ascension period. The cultivator of Wanshan sect's god transformation, after passing the conditions of Ji Lingxi, directly softened his legs. This requirement not only hollowed out the thousands of Wanshan sect's continuation, I am afraid that in the next 100 years, Wanshan sect will give it to Xuanzhen. Always pay off debts. Can. After saying this, the sky above Wanshanzong disappeared, full of sadness. No way, the immortal seal in the hands of Ji Lingxi is too strong and invincible at all. Ji Lingxi went to the mountain gate again and directly destroyed a 7th order sect, which made the cultivator a little bit afraid. But no one dared to say that the 6 gods besieged and killed a nascent soul, which was simply frantic. What's more terrifying is that a nascent soul in his family also counter-killed the existence of the 6 worlds of transforming gods, and it was terrifying. The matter ended with Wanshanzong compensation, because the amount of compensation was too large. Even if Wanshan was a 7th rank sect, it couldn't bear it. In the end, Lin Haoyang agreed that everything would be paid off within 100 years. After this incident, Xuanzhenzong became famous again, and a large number of cultivators came to vote. Nothing else. Domineering, there is a cultivator behind the back, who dares to provoke. Ji Lingxi, who has the seal of the immortal Dao in his hand, has finally made a breakthrough in cultivation base and reached the 4 realms of Hidao, and now there is a faint tendency to become a second person in Hidao. After so many things, it has been few years since the opening of the fairy tomb. Lin Haoyang went back to Baiyu Mountain without delay. The closed-door training of Bai Qingyan and Lin Xuanlin was about to fall, and he hoped that he could stay by his side. And if you get too many things this time, it's better to send them back first. As for looking for people who are good at divine sense, Lin Haoyang no longer insists, and directly announced that the whole human race will be recruited. Explain the reason, do it yourself. With his current popularity, there is no need for him to worry about no one coming. 95%. Chapter 570 Nascent Soul. As soon as Lin Haoyang released the news, it was really angry, and countless people responded immediately. But Lin Haoyang was naturally conditional, and it was impossible for everyone to agree. A total of only 3 people are needed. They have extraordinary talents in divine sense, and there is no limit to cultivation base. There were a lot of people competing for a while, and Lin Haoyang couldn't distinguish it easily, so he threw all these things to Zhao Duanlong. With him as the god of control, the problem is naturally not big. As long as he comes to take over at that time, it will be fine. Today Lin Haoyang pays most attention to Bai Qingyan and Lin Xuanlin. The two of them have been closed-door training for more than half a year. Before closed-door training, Lin Haoyang had prepared a lot of treasures, and it was reasonable to say that the problem was not big. But for closed-door training breakthrough, who can guarantee that it will be foolproof? Lin Haoyang took the 2 children and guarded outside the immortal cave of the second daughter's closed-door training. The wisps of aura exhaled, letting the second daughter know that he was guarding outside. In the rare leisure time, after returning from Kaishan City, Lin Haoyang has been studying the matter of recasting Junyu. The 2 children followed Lin Haoyang, and they were also learning in a similar way. However, his daughter Lin Hanchen, who bears the Taiyan spirit vessel, is not very interested in casting, and she completely likes the gadgets Lin Haoyang created for them. These 2 little guys are born to condense their veins, and it won't take long for them to be able to foundation building. Lin Haoyang knows the benefits of opening wisdom early, and has taught them some knowledge of the world of immortality since they were young. However, the 2 are not yet 3 years old, so Lin Haoyang will naturally not really teach them cultivation technique. As for the issue of cultivation technique for the 2, Long Ling had chosen cultivation technique long ago. Yin and Yang double mixed Yuan Gong. This cultivation technique is a cultivation technique of the Daluo Jingxian level, and requires 2 minds to communicate with each other for cultivation. Lin Hanchen and Lin Hanshuan have the same father and half mother and are connected by blood. The cultivation technique cannot be more suitable. At the level of Daluo Jingxian, even if the 2 of them have cultivated to the realm of combined Dao, they can still cultivate, and they don't need to change cultivation technique. That thinks other people, whether they are working hard for their own cultivation technique. In fact, Lin Haoyang wanted to pass on the Buddha's profound art technique to the 2 of them, but Long Ling said that this cultivation technique was not suitable for them, so Lin Haoyang had to give up. So far, he is the only one who has really cultivated the Xuanzhen art of the Buddha. Even Cao Ying and others have only cultivated the simplified version of the Xuanzhen art. Even the profound reality technique can reach the difficulty of cultivation technique at the level of earth immortals, and cultivation is even more difficult than some cultivation techniques. But even if the cultivation of Xuanzhen secret formula is difficult, the power is still amazing. In the competition between Xuanzhenzong's disciples and Qingyunzong's disciples, the disciples of Xuanzhenzong must be better than those of the same rank. Plus Xuanzhenzong's resources are better. Spiritual qi is more concentrated, and fewer cultivators have chosen to join the Azure Cloud sect in recent years. Even some mortal disciples in the Qingyun sect are more willing to go to the Xuanzhen sect to awaken their spiritual veins. This cannot be blamed on Lin Haoyang. The gap is too big, the water flows to the lower places, and the people go to the higher places. Everyone will naturally choose Xuanzhenzong. This situation will only become more and more obvious as Xuanzhenzong's strength becomes stronger and stronger. Today's Xuanzhen sect, there are 4 nascent soul members, Zuo Qianji, Hu Weiwei, Zhou Zunyuan, and a new nascent soul Zhou Juntao. If Bai Qingyan and Lin Xuanlin also succeed in forming babies, then there will be 6 nascent souls, plus Zuo Qianji, the perfect nascent soul. Then Qingyun sect can also be ranked among the top ranks of the 5th rank forces. However, Zuo Qianji Shouyuan has very little left, and he is almost 400 years old when he lives. In addition, Zuo Qianji is good at divination and deduction, which is quite detrimental to the original source, and the lifespan has been reduced. Up to now, Zuo Qianji has only less than 5 years of life left. He might still die before Lin Xuancheng. Lin Zan is not young anymore, but he should still live for 10 years. But 10 years is the limit. Even if Lin Haoyang finds the elixir to continue his life, Lin Xuancheng's strength is too weak, his origin is not sufficient, and the big medicine is likely to be ineffective. Regarding Lin Haoyang's 3 places, Zhan Meng was seriously injured. After asking Lin Haoyang about some specific conditions, 3 people were recommended. Shen Mengqian, the first big disciple of the 100 Blossoms, said that divine sense means he is the most powerful under the current human harmony. The second one, Jian Shu, had been discussed with Lin Haoyang at the beginning, so naturally it was indispensable. The third place is Yang Shang, a middle-stage rogue cultivators of the god of transformation. Compared with Shen Mengqian's charm and the balance of sword emptiness, this person is better at divine sense assault. With the divine sense attack technique, it is difficult to have an opponent in the transformation of the gods. Even if the late-stage cultivator faces him, you must be careful. If one does not pay attention, the late-stage cultivator will be planted in his hands. Among these people, Zhanzhu's divine sense is the weakest, but the victory is balanced. After the selection of the Holy Sun Holy Maiden, the strength of divine sense is also top in Nascent Soul. Today, Zhanzhu's cultivation base is also on the 4th floor of Nascent Soul. Ascension is not small. It is still a few years from the opening of the fairy tomb. Zhanzhu's ascension at all costs. The cultivation base can probably be on the 5th floor of Nascent Soul and the 6th floor of Nascent Soul, which can basically match Lin Haoyang. Lin Haoyang had no objection to these 3 people, and he would listen to him anyway. If he hadn't agreed to Jian Shu long ago, he wouldn't want Jian Shu to come here. It's so good to change a god, at least it's much safer. Look at Shen Mengqian, this kind of powerhouse. After the selection of Holy Maiden, even if he fails, his combat power will definitely get a lot of ascension. As the chief disciple of the Bayawazi seat, can you not have a tier 7 magical item in your hand? It's combat power. I am afraid that I am not afraid of encountering a cultivator. At that time, there will be the care of the 3 brothers of Ouyang Zhidang. Lin Haoyang's strength is extremely large. There are 4 transformation gods, the top of the 2 transformation gods. Who is afraid of? Who else should I be afraid of? Soon, after another 6 months, Bai Qingyan and Lin Xuanlin's closed-door training reached a critical moment. Boom! Thunder billowed on Baiyu Mountain, and the robbery clouds gathered above the immortal cave of Bai Qingyan's closed-door training. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang's heart was breathed, and the robbery cloud appeared, indicating that Bai Qingyan had successfully gathered Nascent Soul and was about to start Transcends Tribulation. This shows that it is stable. Even if Bai Qingyan couldn't make it by herself, Lin Haoyang could make the other party fail here. Obviously impossible. Moreover, Lin Haoyang was fully prepared for Bai Qingyan, no accidents, no problem at all. The Sky Robbery Thunderbolt. Bai Qingyan slapped her storage bag, a tier 5 middle-grade scepter flew out, the scepter circulated, and a ray of light flew out, directly destroying the thunder robbery in the sky. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang knew that Bai Qingyan was stable, and the average cultivator break through golden core, but there is no nascent soul magical item in his hand. Soon, an hour passed, as a purple lightning was crushed by Bai Qingyan's nascent soul rushed out and went straight to the thunder disaster in the sky. At this moment, Bai Qingyan's thunder tribulation was complete and completely reached nascent soul realm. Feeling the success of Bai Qingyan's transcends tribulation, Lin Xuanlin sent a burst of joy. Lin Xuanlin's talent is not comparable to that of Bai Qingyan. After half a month after Bai Qingyan's transcends tribulation, the thunderclouds on Lin Xuanlin's head began to gather. Said it was a poor aptitude, it also depends on who compared it to Bai Qingyan. Lin Xuanlin may indeed be weaker than Bai Qingyan. But you shouldn't underestimate Lin Xuanlin. The dual spiritual roots are also good qualifications. When the thunderclouds gathered again, Lin Xuanlin suddenly broke the seal and burst out. With the same shot of the storage bag, the 2 flying swords flew out at the same time and went straight to Lei Feng in the sky. These 2 flying swords are also the existence of 2 fifth-order middle stages. 2 hours later, Lin Xuanlin also survived the thunder catastrophe without danger. Compared with Bai Qingyan, Lin Xuanlin suffered more injuries, but the thunder robbery was also there, and the impact was not significant. After Lin Xuanlin had absorbed Lei Jia and opened his eyes, Lin Haoyang and Bai Qingyan immediately came with their 2 children. At this point, all 3 of them are in the nascent soul realm. Ascension of cultivation base is not only an increase in strength, but also an increase in lifespan, which means that the 3 can live longer. Breaking through to nascent soul, the 3 have at least 500 years of life. This is the most important thing. 95%. Chapter 571. At this moment, the family of 5 members was reunited, and Lin Haoyang was able to go to Minor World in the center of the earth with peace of mind. After the two broke through the nascent soul, there were only 2.5 years left before the Minor World reopened in the center of the earth, and Lin Haoyang was about to start preparing. First, recast Junyu, and second, get some life-saving things. After the Keishancheng incident, Lin Haoyang knew the importance of life-saving methods. If Lin Haoyang had many life-saving methods and his own strength was strong, he might have only fallen in the face of Zhu Chongming. After staying with the second daughter for another month, after their cultivation base was completely consolidated, they were ready to go to find the soul, and let him help him recast Junyu. But before leaving, Zuo Qianji suddenly visited and interrupted his plan. Lin, fellow Taoist, when you walk along the way, I can count on my eyesight. To be honest, I helped you a lot in the early years. Now I am shy of an old face, come to beg you for something. Zuo Qianji said dimly. Lin Haoyang frowned. Zuo Qianji's situation was wrong. He knows that the other party has more than 5 years of life. Even if she has the Zishao pill here, the other party will not be able to break through and become a god. If this ammunition is 20 years in the morning, no. In 10 years, he will be able to break through the realm of God. It can only be said that Zuo Qianji's chances are not enough, and he has not been able to wait until now. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a problem to ask for a purple Xiao Dan based on his friendship with Lin Haoyang. But he didn't have enough chances, and Shou Yuan was in a serious deficit, and he couldn't make it to the day when Lin Haoyang rose. Left fellow Taoist is too worried. What's the matter? Just say it. The left fellow Taoist helped me a lot in those years, and I have taken care of Qingyan and Xuanlin these years. I am grateful that it is too late. Yes, but it's okay to say, as long as I can do it, I will do it. Lin Haoyang said, this is a sincere word. Zuo Qianji nodded and hesitated for a long time. This recipe. Let Qingyunzong merge into Xuanzhen. After I leave, Wei Wei and Zunyuan may not be able to support them. When the time comes, we will wait for the destruction of the sect. It is better to merge into Xuanzhen and let sect develop further. Xuanzhen has developed rapidly over the years, and I can feel that the disciples under his clan have complained, and they want to merge. Although our older generation is unwilling, we still have to consider it for them. Quote. Zuo Qianji said, without saying a word, she felt that she was getting older. Merging sect into another sect is not a simple decision for me. Once merged, it will only benefit Xuanzhen sect, but it will not hurt. But to Qingyan Zhilao, that is a loss of luck. Ever since the Qingyan sect disappeared, the sect created by Master Qingyan has disappeared. Then he left Qianji. He was a sinner through the ages. Left fellow Taoist, why is this? Now Qingyan and Zanlan have already given birth to babies. Even if the left fellow Taoist passes away, 5 nascent souls, and I support him in the back, how could Qingyunzong die? Left fellow Taoist does not need. Before Lin Haoyang finished speaking, he could interrupt Zuo Qianji, saying, I made a fortune yesterday. 10 years later, there will be a catastrophe, and the lives will be destroyed. The whole country of Wu. Only Baiyu Mountain survives. If it weren't, how could I let sect disappear like this? Both Wei Wei and Zunyuan knew about this, and I came to you to discuss today. Lin Haoyang's pupils shrink slightly. Catastrophe. Where did the catastrophe come from? Although something went wrong on Long Zuzi's side, Shi Mu and Li Xiaochuan joined forces and have closed the loopholes. Moreover, Lin Haoyang was sure that Wu Yangji would also be in harmony, maybe just after his trip to the fairy tomb. In this way, the human race has 9 alikes. With such strength, where is the catastrophe? Suddenly Lin Haoyang's eyes were taken aback. Could it be another fairy world? If this is the case, I am afraid it is very likely to be true. Lin Haoyang's complexion is not very good looking, so it seems that if he does not allow Qingyunzong to integrate into Xuanzhenzong, it is really his fault. But he didn't want to. Qingyunzong stood for thousands of years, it was sentimental, and he didn't want rogue cultivators. There was no burden to worship Xuanzhenzong. Just like Hu Weiwei and others, even if they joined the Xuanzhen sect, they might not be really willing in their hearts. Even Bai Qingyan and Lin Xuanlin, I'm afraid they are still reluctant to give up. Lin, fellow Taoist, this is not a time to worry about feelings. I don't want the tragic death and catastrophe of the tens of thousands of cultivators in sect. Merger and migration are the final choice. Zuo Qianji said. Finally, Lin Haoyang also knew that a merger might be imperative now. Because everyone believes in the results of Zuo Qianji's deduction. Lin, fellow Taoist, you helped me protect the disciple of the doorman, and I have nothing to repay. Now that I still have some longevity, let's count the last divination for you. I have countless fortunes in my life, and I have no omissions, only today. 2 years later, the fellow Taoist is going to the fairy tomb, so I will help the fellow Taoist be considered bad luck. After Zuo Qianji said, a turtle shell flew out. This tortoise shell is very strange, showing the color of black jade. At first glance, Lin Haoyang can't even see the rank. Put in 9 copper coins, Zuo Qianji can be used for divining. This time, she directly used the strongest arithmetic method, 9 coins black tortoise. Zuo Qianji held the turtle shell in his hand and kept shaking the copper coins inside. In the 4th time, Zuo Qianji's face turned white. A blood spurted out for the 5th time. Lin Haoyang wanted to stop, but found that it was too late. Either wait for Zuo Qianji's calculations, there are still a few days to live, interrupt now, Zuo Qianji will probably fall directly. In the 6th and 7th times, each spit out blood essence. The blood began to dissipate in the 8th time, but Zuo Qianji did not stop, and shook the 9th time. On the 9th time, the origin of Zuo Qianji collapsed. Crack! The black jade tortoise shell exploded, and several copper coins fell to the ground. 4 sides face down, 5 sides face up. Seeing this hexagram, Zuo Qianji smiled, even if his origins began to collapse in order to calculate this hexagram. The hexagram is the ultimate, fellow Taoist entering the tomb of the immortal this time, although it is dangerous, but once passed, immortal. Boom. Speaking of this, the sky is rolling. As long as Zuo Qianji says one more word, I'm afraid this thunder will come down and kill it. At this moment, Lin Haoyang stopped the other party and couldn't say any more, revealing the secret, heavenly Tao is not allowed. Fellow Taoist needn't say any more, my way is natural and smooth. Lin Haoyang said. Seeing that Lin Haoyang understood, Zuo Qianji didn't say more, he didn't want to die here. Hearing the movement of Lin Haoyang, Lin Xuanlin and Bai Qingyan rushed over immediately, not even the children. As soon as he arrived, he saw Zuo Qianji's breath decayed, and he could live a few days later. Head teacher. The two are in great sorrow. Zuo Qianji has the kindness to meet her too, just like his father. Now Zuo Qianji will be the same, and the two are also in grief. Afterwards Zuo Qianji told the story of the matter, and the two girls were even more grieved. The Azure Cloud sect was gone, and they didn't feel well. But they chose to believe in Zuo Qianji, and the catastrophe was approaching, and they couldn't possibly watch Qingyan's disciple being buried in disaster. Soon, Zuo Qianji was sent back to Qingyunzong Qingyan Mountain. Zuo Qianji was about to die, and he was going to die within the mountain gate. 3 days later, Zuo Qianji sat down and the whole clan took filial piety. 7 days later, he began to prepare for the merger of the two cases. This time, all cultivators were merged and all cultivators moved directly to Baiyu Mountain. Only a small number of people stayed at Qingyan Mountain. Even mortals have to migrate near Baiyu Mountain. There is no way, once disasters come, mortals are the most sad. As for how many people believe in Zuo Qianji's divination, Lin Haoyang doesn't know, he believes it anyway. The people of Xuanzhenzong believed it. The people of Qingyan sect also believed. He told Ji Lingxi at this time, and Ji Lingxi told her that they did feel that the crisis was coming, but even they didn't know what it was. The two mergers took 3 months, and after everything was handled, only 2 years were left before the opening of the fairy tomb. Lin Haoyang knew that he had to hurry up. Moreover, he has to become strong quickly, at least to transform the gods, otherwise he may be difficult to overcome the dangers that follow. 95%. Chapter 572. After solving the Qingyan sect's affairs, Lin Haoyang hurried to the jagged city in a hurry, where the crowds are now crowded, and it is very lively. Not to mention the jagged city, just near Saihei Mountain, a large number of cultivators once again gathered, the number is not less than 1,000 people. These people all want to go to the fairy tomb. The minor world at the center of the earth did not say that there was only one channel opening, nor did it say where it was opened. This kind of thing has always been a matter of luck. The closer you are to the passage, the faster you can enter it, and the sooner you can get closer to the fairy tomb. Of course, going down early is likely to be cannon fodder, but these people are not afraid. This is not only the case on the human side, but on the demonic beast side, there is also a sea of people. 5 demonic emperors are entrenched in the sky, and countless demonic beasts stretch across the border, and the number is terrifying. When the channel opens, I don't know how many demonic beasts will flood into it. Moreover, the demonic beasts in the north and east must be hidden somewhere, waiting for the passage to open, ready to flood into it. Don't demon cultivator and outside messengers want to get involved in such a big thing as the fairy tomb? Certainly, the minor world at the center of the earth will be a big chaos. In the face of interests, is there an alliance at all? Even within the human race, I am afraid that you will fight to the death, let alone other things. Soon, Lin Haoyang came to the Jagged City. The Jagged City was huge and the original population was quite large. It's just that dozens of miles of land borders on the edge of Jagged City are uninhabited, and these places are now full of people. The private stalls run by the cultivator are everywhere. You are going to the fairy tomb. Can you not buy something to defend yourself? This is a business opportunity. Countless people come here because the cultivator's money is best earned at this moment. But Lin Haoyang is not interested in Taobao now. Now the first priority is to repair Junyu. Without Junyu, Lin Haoyang would have to discount at least 30% of his strength. Lin Haoyang came to the Jagged City for an unknown number of times. Ji Lingxi knew Lin Haoyang's intentions long ago, and things were ready. For Lin Haoyang, it is difficult to refine a Tier 6 magical item, but for Ji Lingxi, it is quite simple. Ji Lingxi, the only 7th order refiner in the human race. In Ji Lingxi's private refining room, Lin Haoyang took out all the materials in turn, a total of 4 pieces, mainly chaos stone. 1 piece of Tier 6 middle grade, 1 piece of Tier 6 low grade, and 2 pieces of Tier 5 top grade. These materials have been refined by Lin Haoyang, and they contain Lin Haoyang's vitality and blood, as well as the rich and unique spiritual qi of the Buddha's profound art. There is also a chaos stone. Okay, in this way, your magical item rank is enough. After all, Ji Lingxi slapped the storage bag and took out a piece of green metal. Life stone. There is no rank, the foundation of the 7th order magical item. Although these things of you are good, but at most support your magical item to the 6th level top grade, thinking of the 7th level, there is no hope at all. So, do you want it? Lin Haoyang froze for a moment. The life essence stone had no rank, but it was the foundation for refining the 7th order magical item. Needless to say, this thing is extremely precious. But is he the kind of person who is greedy for petty and cheap? Yes, master gifted, naturally can't refuse. Definitely, not greedy for small and cheap, naturally greedy for big and cheap, Lin Haoyang smiled. Ji Lingxi smiled, she was outrageous, and didn't like those who grind and shear, Lin Haoyang was just right to her appetite. Needless to say, Ji Lingxi introduced 5 pieces of materials into the furnace and directly began to refining. On the side, Lin Haoyang looked a little dazed. He spent a lot of time refining these materials. But in the hands of Ji Lingxi, these things seem to have become obedient. After a month, all the materials have completely melted and become liquid. Well, it's time for you, my business is done. Ji Lingxi said. Lin Haoyang nodded. Now he is also a Tier 5 top grade refiner, naturally knowing that Junyu's refining has reached a critical moment. Lin Haoyang's spirit power was connected to the furnace and began to link the various materials in it, because the vitality and blood had already been incorporated into it, and at this moment these materials were still considered docile. There is no way to be docile. Ji Lingxi refines for a month, thoroughly washing out the impurities in the 5 materials, but if there is any dissatisfaction, Ji Lingxi will directly convince him. Another month later, Lin Haoyang was suspended in front of him with a huge sword, 2 meters long and 30 minutes wide. This time, Lin Haoyang didn't refine it particularly huge, too big, but not good. Seeing that Junyu in front of him has been completely formed, Lin Haoyang clicked his brows and said, "Now that the body is rebuilt, isn't it returning?" In the sea of consciousness, the spirit of Junyu screamed for joy, and violently drilled out of Lin Haoyang's sea of consciousness, and quickly merged into Junyu. For the past 2 months, Junyu's spirit stayed in Lin Haoyang's sea of knowledge, very excited, because he felt that Lin Haoyang was helping him refining the sword body. Once the sword body becomes full, it can be reborn. As Junyu's spirit merged, Junyu's sword body began to tremble violently, and Lin Haoyang knew that Junyu's spirit was completely born. At this moment, a small hand suddenly got out of Junyu, and then a baby-like spirit appeared in front of Lin Haoyang. "Zhenyu. See master," the baby said in a milky voice. Lin Haoyang couldn't hide his joy, and finally his magical item was also alive. At this time, the dragon and the phoenix, the 8th stage boy, and the phantom of the Buddha all ran out, looking at the baby in front of them, which was very interesting. After the opening of the Sky City, he had exposed all these methods, so he was naturally not afraid of being discovered by Ji Lingxi. Although I heard about it, Ji Lingxi was a little surprised to see it with his own eyes. Especially the phantom of the Buddha statue made her very surprised, with a feeling of inability to see through. How does each of these spirits seem to be stronger than the spirits on his hammer? No wonder she always felt something was wrong when she asked for the own hammer from Lin Haoyang. It turned out to be low self-esteem. Whereas Lin Haoyang, her hammer can only be a little brother. Being used to age, suddenly becoming a kid, is naturally uncomfortable. Lin Haoyang smiled and said, "Now that your Dao body is completed, you still don't return to your position." After that, the baby returned to Junyu's sword body, and Junyu rose into the sky. At this moment, Junyu was thoroughly trained, and his rank reached the 6th middle rank. Boom! Thunder is rolling in the sky, the 6th order magical item is born, and naturally there will be thunder. Success will be more powerful, failure will ruin the soul. Lin Haoyang smiled and chased him out, holding Junyu in his hand, and began to fight against the thunderous calamity in the sky. The thunder calamity of the 6th tier mid-level magical item, Lin Haoyang, a nascent soul 6th tier, is still somewhat difficult to fight. The thunder was rolling, and the cultivators in the Iron Blood City looked at the sky together, all a little surprised. Lin Haoyang was actually robbing the vessel, and the power seemed outrageous. Is this made by Lin Haoyang? Can Nascent Soul forge a 6th order middle grade magical item? Just kidding. 3 hours later, Lin Haoyang was bombarded not lightly, but finally with the help of a powerful physical body, he resisted this calamity. After experiencing the thunder tribulation, Zhen Yu was a little weak, but his power did not decrease but increased. Before entering the 6th tier mid-level at most, now in the 6th tier mid-level, he can also enter the top rank. Zhen Yu refining, Lin Haoyang's strength was 3 points stronger, this time he went to the fairy tomb and grasped another 3 points. 96%. Chapter 573 Earth Center Minor World opens. Zhen Yu recasting had completed Lin Haoyang's major preparations, and then he had to prepare some life-saving methods. For Lin Haoyang today, ordinary methods are no longer useful, at least the life-saving methods of transforming the gods will be useful. Because Lin Haoyang's current enemies are at least at the level of god transformation, Nascent Soul doesn't need him to use these methods at all. Now, he is embarrassed to find Ji Lingxi for the protection method. This is the first time that Ji Lingxi has given the protection method. The hammer last time is the 3rd time. Being a master, giving 3 protection methods is also considered as benevolent and righteous. For Lin Juwu and others, Lin Haoyang also gave it once, and has not used it yet. No way, they didn't encounter any danger. With Lin Haoyang, who is here, who dares to provoke them easily? In the wild, now the demonic beasts army is under pressure, and some previous activities to hunt demonic beasts have now ceased. What's more, the people of Xuanzhen sect, now that several tier 5 spiritual veins can't be developed, are their time to hunt demonic beasts. It was too safe, so that Lin Haoyang's life-saving methods were not used at all. For this trip to the fairy tomb, all 3 of Lin Haoyang's disciples will go there, and the master himself will also prepare for them. Fortunately, he has money now, otherwise so many people, where does he come from so many spirit stones to buy self-defense? Before leading away, Ji Lingxi still took out a small hammer. This hammer is not a magical item of Ji Lingxi, but the power of a hammer is equivalent to the power of a Hidao strike. This was specially refined by Ji Lingxi, not only Lin Haoyang, but also Lin Haoyang's senior brothers. In order to refine these 4 hammers, Ji Lingxi also spent a lot of money, and spent most of his possessions. Over the years, in order to cultivate a very spiritual line, those are 40 or 50 nascent souls. Moreover, the nascent soul of dual cultivation of the law body, each is a bottomless pit, costing a lot, and she has not praised too many spirit stones in these years. Among the 7 great combinations, he is considered the poorest. If she weren't for the only rank 7 refiner in the human race, I'm afraid she would die of poverty. However, the results are not small. In recent years, Wu Yangji and Zhao Duanlong have each had a disciple who cultivated into the god of transformation. In the past few years, Duan Hong also lost his mind and made a breakthrough. Moreover, cultivation base is advancing by leaps and bounds, directly to the 3 realms of transforming god, at an amazing speed. No way, Duan Hong suppressed it for too long. 100 years ago, Duan Hong could become a god of transformation, but because of his obsession, he was unable to make this step. Now that the obsession has disappeared, cultivation base has naturally grown rapidly. Under the seat of Ji-Link-Si, there are now 5 people who are transforming gods, 27 people in nascent soul late stage, 18 people in nascent soul middle stage, and 8 people in nascent soul early stage. This huge force has faintly become the second major trend of Hidao. There are few cultivators in Ji-Link-Si, and they are all high-end combat power roots. But when the power is exhausted, among these nascent souls, there are probably 3 or 4 people who can make a breakthrough, including Lin Haoyang's disciple, Tian spiritual root's own Cao Ying. After practicing Lin Haoyang's 9 reactive skills, her combat power soared, even at the 5th level of nascent soul, but with the help of the physical power, she could heaven-defying the existence of nascent soul late stage. However, she has not been able to comprehend everything, otherwise her strength can go further. There is also Lin Haoyang, who can definitely make a breakthrough. Therefore, if you give Ji-Link-Si some more time, Ji-Link-Si will become the second power in the world. First, there is still a line of sword holders who cannot be surpassed. How to surpass? Now there are 2 people in the same family, and they are the first power of the human race. Will they send the gods under the sect? Of course not. The number of transforming gods may even reach the number of hands. This is also the reason why the swordsman has always been in charge of the Sword League. After accepting the hammer, Lin Haoyang believed that this was the last time he had accepted the gift of Ji-Link-Si. During this trip to the fairy tomb, Lin Haoyang decided to make a breakthrough in it. The 5 changes of nascent soul were enough to support the peak of his cultivation. He didn't believe that a huge fairy tomb had no suitable opportunity to make his nascent soul go further. Afterwards, Lin Haoyang came to the resident of the Jianmeng and began to exchange for spiritual things. Wan Shanzong subsidized him 100 million spirit stones, and now he has 50 million spirit stones, but in Zhu Chongming's storage bag, he has gained a lot. Just spirit stones, there are close to 50 million, there is also a 7th order magical item, various charms, defense magical item and many. Therefore, Lin Haoyang didn't worry about magical item. He wanted to buy a lot of magical amulets this time. There are so many of you, I'm not afraid. I will blow you up with a magic talisman to meet Lin Haoyang's needs. I'm afraid there is only the treasure house of the Jian League. For this trip to the fairy tomb, all parties of the Sword Alliance have stockpiled, only for the human cultivator to have a chance to save their lives in the war. In the end, Lin Haoyang exchanged 55th tier magic charms and 3 6th tier high rank magic charms in the Jianmeng warehouse. This cost is not small, even in the name of Ji-Link-Si, they are all sold to Lin Haoyang at the lowest price. 1 tier 6 high-grade charm will cost 15 million spirit stones, and 50 tier 5 top-tier charms will cost 20 million spirit stones. This wave cost Lin Haoyang close to 65 million spirit stones. Moreover, Lin Haoyang also had 4 6th order middle and low-grade magic charms on his body, all of which were obtained from Zhu Chongming and others. What Lin Haoyang pursues is to replace his life with spirit stones. Anyway, these spirit stones are trophies, so Lin Haoyang doesn't feel distressed when he uses them. He only left 20 million spirit stones in the Xuanzhen sect's Fu library to reinforce the Xuanzhen sect's large formation and defensive measures to withstand future disasters. He took the rest of the spirit stones with him. In the end, Lin Haoyang gave Cao Ying a tier 6 low-grade spirit talisman, and Lin Zhuwu and Lu Jintao each gave a tier 5 top-grade spirit stones. There are also some magical charms that he didn't use before, he gave them separately, and these things did not have much effect on him. With the means to save his life, Lin Haoyang no longer worried. In this trip to the fairy tomb, almost all of the Jiling line will enter it, so Xuanzhen sect is a little empty. Fortunately, the Azure Cloud sects merged at this time, leaving 4 nascent soul guards on Bayou Mountain. With the help of the Tier 6 large array and many low-level cultivators, it can also resist the attack of Tier 6 demonic beasts. If he relied on some of the methods left by Lin Haoyang, he could even kill a Tier 6 existence. Moreover, Bayou Mountain already has a Tier 5 teleportation formation, and Lin Haoyang is not too worried about Bayou Mountain's safety. Time passed quickly. 2 years were about to arrive. Lin Haoyang sat in his own immortal cave and greeted 3 guests. Shen Mengchen, Yang Sheng, Jian Shu. 3. Since everyone chooses to cooperate with me, then after entering, they must take me as the master and make soul oaths, not to murder each other. Once this happens, the souls will be broken and die. Lin Haoyang said. Shen Mengchen frowned. She didn't expect Lin Haoyang to be so overbearing. Her strength is not weak. She is the strongest group in the minor world at the center of the earth. Can she have no ambitions? This news comes from Lin Haoyang. I will naturally listen to Lin, fellow Taoist. I am willing to take a soul oath. Jian Shu said. Yang Sheng frowned, and finally said, wish to take a soul oath. Lin Haoyang looked at Shen Mengchen. If she didn't agree today, Lin Haoyang would probably not bring her with him. I think. Shen Mengchen hadn't spoken yet. Suddenly there was a cry from the jagged city. There is news from the wild, minor world in the center of the earth will open in 3 days, with 6 channels. Shen Mengchen sighed slightly. There was no time, so he could only listen to Lin Haoyang, otherwise, Lin Haoyang would definitely not take him. I am also willing to take a soul oath. 96%. Chapter 574. The Two Disappeared Clans. Lin Haoyang smiled at the corner of his mouth, and the 3 of them were willing to take him as the master, so after entering the fairy tomb, they could save a lot of effort. After all, there are 2 gods as thugs, so there is no need to worry about the general danger. Soon everyone came out of the immortal cave, and news came that the passage was about to open. Who would still be sitting there? Need to start right away. At the entrance of the 6 passages, where did Lin Haoyang and the others enter is a question. First of all, the human race and the demonic beasts still need to fight, otherwise the 2 sides will enter in chaos. I am afraid that they will be unable to fight before they reach the place where the fairy tomb is located. This is something neither side wants to see. Soon, Ji Lingxi, Kun Yuanzi, and Long Tuzi all lifted into the air and confronted the 5 Hidao on the side of demonic beasts. Behind Gilaizi, the seal of the immortal Dao fell, and the air of immortal Dao swept all over the place, and the coercion was pressing. On the demonic beast side, the 5 demon emperors looked dignified, and the Moyu Qilin led by the cultivation base has reached the 7th tier high grade, with strong strength. At this moment, the 5 7th order demon emperors headed by Moyu Qilin, the pressure of the 7th order demon emperor was dissipating, and they were worthy of confrontation with the 3 of Ji Lingxi. This is the power of the fairy magical item, which directly makes up for the lack of combat power of the human race. At this moment, the northern sky split and 2 demonic beasts joined hands. A mermaid demon emperor, holding a ink stick, followed by a white bear demon emperor. Behind the 2 of them, the blockbuster demonic beasts followed. Obviously, the far north land and the East China Sea are also very interested in the fairy tombs, and they have to come and intervene at this time. Compared with the human race and the demonic beasts in the west, the 2 sides have the fewest people. No way, it's too far away. Moreover, these 2 tribes are not very suitable for fighting on land. The 2 demon emperors, plus a magical item of the fairy path, are at least equivalent to 3 or 4 demon emperors, and their strength is not weak. The moment the mermaid demon emperor appeared, a group of devilish energy surged from the south, and the ancestor hearts demon appeared. It seemed that demon cultivator would also get in. When Ji Lingxi and others saw the ancestor of hearts demon, it was really out of anger. They always had to intervene at critical moments. If it weren't for the demon cultivator to make trouble, there would still be more triads on the Terran side at this moment. In this case, would you still be afraid of demonic beasts? Obviously not. The ancestors of Heart's demon have come here. In the southern part of the human race, the foreign strong man in harmony may definitely be stuck outside the formation. The same is true in the East China Sea and the extreme north. There must be deterrence, otherwise these people will not gather in the wild. Like the far north, it seems that there are only 2 demon emperors, and there are only 3 at most. If this all came, and the human race was pressed into anxieties, dozens of transformation gods would rush into the nest of the demon emperor in the far north, that would be truly extinct. Terrans are still very powerful. One said that demonic beasts are huge in number, and Terrans are not many at all. Today, the population of the entire human race is probably around tens of billions. Of course, this includes mortals, but there are also hundreds of millions of cultivators, which are close to amnesia. Although the birth ratio of cultivator to mortal is 10 to 10,000, it can't hold back the cultivator to live for a long time. A foundation building can live twice as long as ordinary mortals. In 100 years, how many generations of mortals have been born? 5 generations, 6 generations, a huge base, and a lot of cultivators of the human race. Moreover, the growth rate of cultivator is far from what demonic beasts can. Just like Lin Haoyang, who is less than 100 years old, can cultivate to this place, demonic beasts can't compare. If you don't have enough opportunities to become tier 5 demonic beasts, don't even think about it if you don't have 1,000 years of time. This is also the reason why demonic beasts fears the human race. The more you fight, the stronger you will be. Since 20,000 years ago, human race has only 2 or 3 remaining He Dao, and the current 9 He Dao of development Dao. It is really getting stronger with more fights, and Demon Cultivator is also a human race. With the addition of Nanbai who died before, there are a total of 11 He Dao. If it weren't for enemies in all directions, human race would be the real overlord. Therefore, no one on that side is willing to really push the human race to a dead end. The most important thing is that the human race still has an ancient bronze sword. Who can really destroy the human race? Impossible. Kidding. The power of the ancient bronze sword, no one can hold a sword. As long as the human race took some people into the ancient bronze sword, it was really not afraid. Moreover, the human race also has a fairy talisman. That thing really kills whoever is killed. Even if Emperor Lu and Emperor Qilin are here, there is absolutely no possibility of surviving. With 6 passages, the 4 parties began to compete, and Ji Lingxi opened his mouth and said, "Why, you all want to break the human fishnet with my human race. If it is true, my human race is not afraid. However, at least more than half of the clans present here must have fallen. In the extreme north, in the south, the demon cultivator does not need to be seen, it must be completely wiped out, and the Emperor Lu Dijin of the East China Sea will definitely fall." Quote. The words of Ji Lingxi made everyone in the audience look condensed, and the human race dare to say that, it is definitely not a joke. There are many cultivators in the human race, and there are many strong people who enter the Tao, but if the races really want to fight to the death, it must be the immortal hunting the strong. The immortal talisman of the human race will definitely fall on the strongest man today, Emperor Xiangliu. This does not need to be doubted. But in this way, the human race will lose and will be extremely heavy. 99% of the people will die, and all the foundations laid in the past 20,000 years will be destroyed. Fellow Taoist is too worried. We never thought of a deadly battle. There are 6 passages. You and me each occupy 1 place, the mermaid in the far north occupies 1 place, and the heart's demon fellow Taoist occupies 1 place. What do you think? Mo Yu Qilin said. Such a distribution was already considered the most fair. Mo Yu Qilin couldn't help it, just about to tear his face. All parties did not speak. Heart's demon ancestor smiled. He brought not many people. Demon cultivator lost a lot these 2 times. He didn't have many people to send. But you still have to send someone, at least to get some news, and you can't blind your eyes. The white bear demon emperor and the mermaid demon emperor didn't have much opinion either. Their 2 alliances brought not many clansmen, and 1 passage was completely sufficient. Seeing that all parties no longer objected, Ji Lingxi knew that this was the limit, and it could not be more. That's it. Ji Lingxi clicked his hand, and the 2 passages closest to the jagged city lit up. All demonic beasts near these 2 passages are evacuated. Once they are found, kill them. Mo Yu Qilin nodded without saying anything. The mermaid demon emperor and heart's demon ancestors each chose a passage, and only 2 passages that were closest to the wilds were left for the wild tribes. With the conclusion, all parties began to enter the channel. Everyone of the human race, the person in the fairy tomb is my human race senior. If there are any treasures, naturally they cannot be taken by these demonic beasts. This trip, it depends on you. I am here to hold the battle for you. Ji Lingxi shouted. Below, the sentiment was infuriated, and they rushed straight into the 2 passages one by one. The 7 great combined strengths belonged to a team, and they led their troops into the fairy tomb. Ouyang Ji also returned not long ago. Together with Zhao Duanlong and Ouyang Ji, they stepped into the channel with a cultivator of the very spiritual line. The 4 of Lin Haoyang changed their appearances, and followed the flow of people into the passage. After the sky turned and the night turned upside down, Lin Haoyang once again came to the minor world in the center of the earth. At this moment, everyone came down here and started to run around without getting together. At most, they were small groups. The minor world in the center of the earth is not small, so many of them have poured in, but it is only a drop in the sea. Now the most important thing is to find the location of the fairy tomb. As soon as he entered this place, Lin Haoyang felt an invisible summoning force, pulling him in one direction. Go. After all, Lin Haoyang took the 4 people and quickly escaped away. However, Lin Haoyang became more frightened as he walked. The creatures in this minor world seemed to have disappeared. After walking for a long time, Lin Haoyang saw it tomorrow. 96%. Chapter 575. Goodbye Blue Skin Clan. Lin Haoyang's face was solemn. Where did these blue skin people and local demonic beasts go? Did they all gather near the fairy tomb? This is very possible. After all, the news of the opening of the fairy tomb was passed on by them. Since they have all passed the news, they naturally know that outsiders and demonic beasts will definitely come. The demonic beasts and human cultivator from the outside world will be killed. They will definitely prepare early, otherwise they will wait for death. Once the external cultivator enters, how can the blue-skinned people and the local demonic beasts resist? Can't stop it at all. Therefore, those blue-skinned people must be hiding somewhere, and following this summoning power, Lin Haoyang believes that he will definitely be able to see each other. It was the first time for Jianshu and others to come to this minor world, and they were still a little uncomfortable with the spiritual qi in this world. The special power in the air made them very uncomfortable. Here, their strength alone can play a role of 80% at most. But for Lin Haoyang, the impact here was not great. Once he had been here, these special substances had little impact on Lin Haoyang. Secondly, Lin Haoyang's dual cultivation of Dharma body, physical power is not affected by these substances, so in this minor world, Lin Haoyang's power is not weakened much. In the quartet, people from demonic beasts, sea race, Terran race, and demon cultivator are all rushing in frantically. All parties have some understanding of the minor world in the center of the earth. They all have maps drawn to find the right direction. All parties rush to the edge of judgment where the fairy tomb is located. Shen Mengchen also had a map of the minor world in the center of the earth. After observing the surrounding environment, she frowned slightly and said, Lin, fellow Taoist, we seem to have deviated from the end of judgment. Where are we going? Lin Haoyang said with a solemn expression. Follow it. If you say listen to me, there can only be one voice here. Shen Mengchen was slightly angry. She was just a little confused. Why is she so angry? Don't you ask. However, Shen Mengchen didn't say much about the soul oath. She wanted to see what Lin Haoyang was going to do. If she can't give her a reasonable explanation, she is not afraid to turn her face with Lin Haoyang. Although there is a soul vow, she can't let her die in vain, or miss this great opportunity. When Holy Maiden was selected, she had already missed a great opportunity, and she didn't want to miss the second time. Jianshu and Yang Sheng didn't speak, but it didn't mean that they had no thoughts in their hearts, but they still believed in Lin Haoyang. Since Lin Haoyang dared to find someone publicly, it means that Lin Haoyang must have some information. Lin Haoyang is not weak in strength. The weakest sword in cultivation base is on the 5th floor of Nascent Soul. The 4 of them are extremely fast, and within half a day, they have already ran tens of thousands of miles. Finally, Lin Haoyang felt that the 10-armed blue-skinned clan member who had a deep connection with him was not far away, and Lin Haoyang did not leave. Since he has the feeling, then the other party must have the feeling. He has gone so far, the other party should be relieved. Since he is relieved, then come out and see him. Lin Haoyang stopped and said, just wait here, the answer you want will soon be known. Shen Mengchen and the others looked at each other and didn't say anything. They wanted to see what kind of medicine Lin Haoyang actually sold in Calabash. After waiting for half an hour, 2 figures broke through the air. It was the 10-armed blue-skin tribe who signed the contract with Lin Haoyang on that day and the native demonic beasts of Tier 6. The moment I saw Lin Haoyang, this person was shocked. How long did Lin Haoyang leave? Has it been for 40 years? How did this cultivation base grow so fast? Lin Haoyang fighting here now can make them feel threatened. Moreover, the few people around Lin Haoyang were very threatening, especially the woman, who felt so dangerous. She felt that she alone could suppress him and the local Tier 6 demonic beasts. Demonic beasts? Shen Mengchen asked questions unconsciously, but it didn't feel like that. This man and beast body is extremely powerful. The demonic beasts look like creatures are several times stronger than the external Tier 6 demonic beasts. What is this man-beast thing? Jianshu and Yang Sheng also have this problem. There is no record of these 2 creatures in their intelligence. In fact, we can't blame the 3 of Shen Mengchen. The situation in the minor world at the center of the earth, the human race really doesn't know much information. Lin Haoyang revealed many things. No way, the earth-centered minor world human race actually doesn't pay much attention to it. First, there are not too many things in this minor world. Secondly, it is uncertain when the earth-centered minor world appears, and I don't know when to enter it. Thirdly, the earth-centered minor world. The passages of are generally found in the savage territory, and the human race is very aware of it. The last time Lin Haoyang entered, it was actually a mistake, but last time, they only entered in one place, which shows how difficult it is to find the passage. Therefore, it is understandable that Shen Mengchen and others did not know the Blue Skin Tribe and the indigenous demonic beasts. Lin, fellow Taoist, still keeping promises. The Blue Skin Tribe with 10 arms said humanely. He is very polite to Lin Haoyang now, without his previous arrogance. In the past, Lin Haoyang looked like an ant in their eyes, which could be pinched to death at will. Now Lin Haoyang is not something they can handle at will. If he wants to break away from the minor world, I am afraid he really depends on Lin Haoyang. Lin Haoyang smiled at the corner of his mouth and said, "Where the contract is, dare I come? If I don't come, you will definitely try to kill me, right?" The 10-armed Blue Skin Tribe hurriedly said, "How come? I'm that kind of person. Since fellow Taoist is here, let's discuss how to enter the fairy tomb." On the side, the Tier 6 indigenous demonic beasts never spoke, because Lin Haoyang had been staring at him with a smirk, and he was afraid that Lin Haoyang would take him down. Back then, he was actually not very friendly to Lin Haoyang. Had it not been for the cross-armed blue-skinned people, Lin Haoyang would not have been able to get out of the minor world alive. At that time, Lin Haoyang was the Golden Core cultivation base. How could it be possible to fight against these cultivators? It's not an opponent at all. Now it's different. There are now 2 big thugs around him, so there is no fear at all. Okay, let's not talk too much nonsense. You must also know that the people outside and the demonic beasts have come in. We should draw a line on how we are going to enter the fairy tomb. Otherwise, when they are all here, we will have no chance. Moreover, we did not see the Blue Skin Tribe and the indigenous demonic beasts along the way. You should be prepared. Can you unblock it? Just bet this time. Don't worry, the people I'm looking for are extremely good at strength. Lin Haoyang said. The 10-armed blue-skinned people nodded. Indeed, as Lin Haoyang said, they had already moved their people. As a tomb-guarding race, naturally they still have some foundation in their hands, like the colorful Cheniansha that they released deliberately. Okay, since Lin fellow Taoist has said so, we won't say more. We have 3 10-arms, Heavenly Dog fellow Taoist and 2 Tier 6 demonic beasts. As for the nascent soul cultivator, we don't have to. Forget it, there is cannon fodder inside. The 10-armed blue skin tribe said here, and suddenly stunned. He suddenly discovered that there are 2 people in Lin Haoyang who are still nascent soul. 96%. Chapter 576 Cooperation. The most important thing is that Lin Haoyang seems to be nascent soul, but you really don't look like the cultivator of nascent soul realm. Lin Haoyang and Jian Shu both had ugly faces, and they were even looked down upon. Is nascent soul weak? In the outside world, nascent soul can also start a mountain. Well, they are indeed weaker here. The 10-armed blue-skinned people and the local demonic beasts are not weak, although it seems that they only have the cultivation base of the middle stage of the gods. However, combined with their own characteristics, their true combat power may be even stronger than that. When encountering the late-stage cultivator, they also have the power to fight. Okay, don't talk too much nonsense. According to the contract, I brought someone here. Let me know how you 2 clans want to get rid of the restrictions. Lin Haoyang said. Shen Mengchen and the others frowned. Sure enough, Lin Haoyang knew a lot, and following him should be able to reap some benefits. And these local creatures don't look simple, they know a lot of news about the fairy tomb. This is natural, as long as Lin fellow Taoist remembers. I don't talk nonsense. We want divine sense to be strong, not deliberately making things difficult, but to walk the channel we know, we must resist the power of judgment. The essence of the power of judgment is the spiritual sense of the master of the fairy tomb. Because of the curse, it is impossible for us to get close. This requires a few to take us there. After passing through the tomb, there are many treasures and opportunities in the fairy tomb. Of course, the danger is not small. And our only purpose is to find the corpses of the people in the fairy tomb to lift the curse on our 2 races. The 10-armed blue-skinned people simply talked about some plans, but they shocked Shen Mengchen and others. Are these 2 people so clear about the fairy tomb? It made them more and more curious about the origins of these 2 races. Could it be? Shen Mengchen thought of an ancient custom. Tomb keepers, are these 2 groups of tomb keepers left behind by the owner of the fairy tomb? If this is the case, this can be explained clearly. As a clan guarding the tomb, it is not surprising to know some news about the fairy tomb. Suddenly, Shen Mengchen's eyes lit up. That is to say, the 2 clans knew the origin of the owner of the fairy tomb. At this point, no one knows now that no immortal has ever appeared in this world. Then this fairy tomb is very likely not a product of this world. It is very likely that it already existed before the human race came. 2. Fellow Taoist, do you know the name of the owner of the fairy tomb? Where does he come from? Shen Mengchen asked. Lin Haoyang frowned. Yes, how could he forget this? Since the 10-armed blue-skinned person tomb guard, wouldn't he know who his owner is? Some of the situation of the owner of the tomb is something that happened tens of thousands of years ago. We are just the descendants of the tomb guarding clan. I don't know much, I only know the name of the owner of the fairy tomb. Our two races have been in this minor world for more than 50,000 years. The 10-armed blue-skinned tribe is humane. Lin Haoyang was taken aback when he heard the words of the blue-skinned clan with 10 arms, 50,000 years. They still don't know where it is. Quiet, this name doesn't sound like human race. From Dragon Spirit, Lin Haoyang learned a lot about the immortal world, not only the human race, but also the immortals of other races in the immortal world. In other words, this secluded is probably not a human race. Regardless of whether it is a human race, since you are here, you must go in. They have delayed a lot of time here, and the outside army has almost reached the end of the judgment. Time is not in a hurry. If we want to get in, let's hurry up. The outside army, I'm afraid it is already at the end of the trial. Lin Haoyang said. The 10-armed blue-skinned tribe nodded, and suddenly a blue light appeared on her body, and 5 figures flew from a distance, apparently the other 3 10-armed blue-skinned tribe and 2 demonic beasts. Soon the 5 figures arrived, all with strong auras, and they were obviously the powerhouses of realm. The existence of the 7 late-stage gods is definitely a huge force, and Lin Haoyang doesn't dare to underestimate it. Once they turned back, Lin Haoyang was no opponent at all. Shen Mengchen is very strong, he can hit 2 or even 3, but what about others? They weren't opponents at all, so Lin Haoyang also played a 3-pointer cautiously. Lin, fellow Taoist, we can't fight for a long time when we cross the passage. I will be the only one with them at that time. I have to be self-proclaimed. At that time. It will all depend on the Lin, fellow Taoist. Lin Haoyang nodded. He knew that the colorful 1,000 cloud cover came from the other party, presumably they also had magical items that could store living people. With Lin Haoyang's affirmation, the 10-armed blue-skinned tribesmen were no longer procrastinated, including the 6 demonic gods of the local demonic beasts, and their figures flashed directly into a bracelet on the 10-armed blue-skinned tribe's hand. Lin Haoyang glanced at the bracelet. Good guy, the 7th order magical item, better than his colorful 1,000 clouds cover. Sure enough, there are still a lot of good things in the hands of this tomb guarding clan. Shen Mengchen and others are also eye-catching. The 7th order magical item, this thing is rare, and it can also hold living things, which is more precious than the general 7th order magical item. Although Shen Mengchen and the others were greedy, they just took a look. The existence of the 7 late-stage gods, they can't afford to provoke them, they are all bigwigs. Accepting the rest, the 10-armed blue-skinned tribe is humane. Lin, fellow Taoist, we chose this place, in addition to avoiding people from outside, there is another reason. There is a teleportation formation here, which can reach directly into the edge of judgment. Not only can we avoid our direct encounter with them, it can also reduce many dangers. It is not easy to enter the end of judgment. Quote. Hearing this, Lin Haoyang and the others showed joy in their eyes. Sure enough, choosing to cooperate with these grave guards is still beneficial. Look, don't the benefits come now? Shen Mengchen and others didn't know the horror of Judgment's Edge, but he did. He felt the aura in the Judgment's Edge at first, and he was afraid that even the Tao of Judgment might fall. Before coming, Lin Haoyang guessed that he might not go where following the blue-skinned tribe with 10 arms. He has fully told Zhao Duanlong about the dangers of Judgment's End, and Jiling's line will definitely be careful when entering the trial. With no worries about the future, Lin Haoyang was not afraid to go in first to make some profit. Shen Mengchen's faces were also smiling, and it seemed that they were right to follow Lin Haoyang. Without further ado, Lin Haoyang followed the 10-armed blue-skinned tribe and found the secret teleportation formation. Lin Haoyang was shocked when he saw the formation. This formation was not the same as the teleportation array they used. They didn't know any of the patterns engraved on it. This is Malay, Jian Shu said in surprise. Obviously, he didn't expect to see this kind of pattern here. Lin Haoyang was shocked. Wu Wen. This reminded him of the contract he had signed back then, which seemed to be related to witches. Now that this kind of witchcraft teleportation array has appeared again, it seems that this Yu is very likely to be a powerhouse of witchcraft. The 10-armed blue-skin tribe didn't say anything. Nothing to be surprised. He saw too much of this thing. Maybe, these are the witches in Jian Shu's mouth. The 10-armed blue-skinned people run a special spirit power. A blue light is injected into it, and the teleportation array is instantly lit. At this moment, the 10-armed blue-skin tribe named themselves Spirit Power and stepped into formation. Everyone, come on. After that, I won't be able to use abilities anymore. It's up to you. 96%. Chapter 577 Ghost Forest. Lin Haoyang glanced at each other with several people, nodding their heads. At this time, even if there was danger, they would have to rush into it. The 10-armed blue-skinned people even bet on the own group. What are they afraid of? Soon, the four of Lin Haoyang stepped onto the teleportation formation, followed by a burst of blue light, and a blue beam of light led them straight into the trial. Because of the protection of the beam of light, the restrictions in the end of judgment were not turned on, and the beam of light went straight into the fairy tomb. At this moment, the armies of all ethnic groups have rushed to the end of the judgment one after another, but they did not act rashly. Judgment's edge gave them a sense of great horror. Even if the top of them entered, they might be in danger of falling. Under such a crisis, no one moved rashly. Although demonic beasts are not very intelligent, they still don't know how to die. What's more, the leading tier 6 demonic beasts, their wisdom is not lower than that of the human race. However, with the appearance of this beam of light, everyone's expressions were not good, and it was obvious that someone had taken the lead. You don't need to ask, everyone knows that it is Lin Haoyang. Lin Haoyang selected the strong divine sense in the human race, saying that there is a special thing to do. Take away 2 gods and a nascent soul. Now it seems that the blue beam of light is probably the most important thing that Lin Haoyang and others have to do, and there is even a way to bypass the edge of judgment. At this moment, the quartet glanced at each other, and there was no meaning to fight here, meaningless. Let's join forces to attack. Plow the outside restrictions once, and there will always be fewer deaths. Said the late-stage cultivator, a humanized god. Agree. A tier 6 mermaid didn't say anything, and directly agreed. These people from the Sea Clan are all elites of various races. If they die too much here, it is not easy to explain. Agree. Demonic beasts in the far north also agreed. There are not many demonic beasts in the far north, so I can't bear to die like this. Agree. Southern Demon Cultivator even agreed. Without him, Demon Cultivator is really dead. Now there is only one Demon Cultivator in the late stage of the gods. 5 and 4 have agreed, and the wild demonic beasts can't do anything about it. In fact, the Moyuki Lin, Black Dragon and other races don't really want to do this. They are directly pressed by the army, and they really don't care how many demonic beasts underneath die. After a few years of cultivation, it will naturally be supplemented again. No way, now I can only shoot with everyone. Both the human race and the wild demonic beasts have a total of more than 60 gods. The Sea Clan, the Far North, and the Demon Cultivator are not yet 40, a total of about 100 of the god transformation stage, flying out of their respective camps, various means, and starting to hit the edge of judgment. Among the 100 transformation gods, many of them are in the late stage, and they are all elites of various races. If this wave of attacks falls, it is really ruining the world. Even if the Hidao cultivator is here, I don't dare to face the joint attack of so many cultivators. It's too scary and I don't dare to attack. After a stick of incense, Judgment's edge completely changed its appearance. The green cliffs had become devastated at this moment, and many places were completely destroyed. But if you want to retain some appearance, then hurry up, it's like a corner of a coffin is exposed, it's really horrible. Wow, suddenly, 49 2-points appeared on the edge of judgment, and a force of transmission came from them. When Wufeng Washan saw this, his face was immediately happy. It seemed that these connecting dots were the passages leading to the interior of the fairy tomb. Without further ado, all parties turned their gods back to their own side and began to focus on these bright spots. There are more than tens of thousands of human races and demonic beasts, but there are only 49 channels, which will naturally lead to bloodshed. The outside world was full of enthusiasm, but Lin Haoyang and others knew nothing. After the transmission, they came to a dim world. There was a dark world everywhere, and there were many sculptures inside, none of which were creatures that Lin Haoyang knew. Obviously, the owner of this fairy tomb was not a human race. Looking at the surrounding totems, buildings, and sculptures, Jianzhu became more and more certain that a witchcraft fairy was buried in it. The human race also has a way of witchcraft, but it is not prosperous, mainly breeding insects and beasts and cursing. If there is a cultivator among them, this trip will be much safer. However, Lin Haoyang hadn't thought of it before, and he regretted it at the moment. If you want to enter the main tomb, you need to pass through 3 levels, the Ghost Forest, the Insect Sea, and the 10,000 GU Cave. These 3 places are extremely dangerous. If you don't pay attention, you may fall. Before entering the main tomb, I have to seal myself, and this way, I have to ask 4 fellow Taoists. The 10-armed blue skin tribe is humane. Lin Haoyang's face was solemn, and it seemed that it was not a good thing to come in early. The danger in front of this was all on their own. Fortunately, they took the 10-armed blue skin tribe, otherwise they would not dare to move easily. According to the 10-armed blue skin people, what they are facing now is the Ghost Forest. According to Wu Dao, there should be some horrible existence in it. Shen fellow Taoist, go ahead and try it. Lin Haoyang said. The strongest person in cultivation base here is Shen Mengchen. If you want to explore the way, she is the best choice. Shen Mengchen knew this too, did not say much, offered a bell in front of him, and began to walk into the depths of the Ghost Forest. Lin Haoyang's eyes condensed. The bell seems not simple. I am afraid it is also a 7th-order magical item. That's right. Baowazi's big disciple is very likely to become a Hidao existence, and the means are naturally not weak. Shen Mengchen kept going deeper. Lin Haoyang and the others were also very nervous. If there is something here that Shen Mengchen can't deal with, they have to find another way if they want to pass it. Shen Mengchen walked past strange trees, and after 50,000 years, many of the layouts here were basically abandoned. Many weird trees have only appearances, just touch them lightly and they will burst into pieces. After walking for about a while, Shen Mengchen could only use divine sense to feel the village of Lin Haoyang and others. After walking for a long time, Shen Mengchen's heart throbbed. Although she hadn't seen anything terrible, the deeper she went, the more frightened she became. There was definitely something terrible hidden in it. Suddenly, her heart suddenly burst, and on the road ahead, a huge strange tree appeared, of unknown species. The whole body is pitch black, and its roots are not a single tree, but are formed by thousands of trees. Shen Mengchen felt that this tree is alive. Even if trees are difficult to cultivate into wisdom, is a tree that has lived for 50,000 years. Shen Mengchen didn't know, and didn't dare to test it easily. There was no extra action. Shen Mengchen retreated from the direction when he was going back and forth, first meeting with Lin Haoyang and others before talking. After Shen Mengchen disappeared, the branches of that huge strange tree suddenly trembled, and a branch turned around, revealing a human face on it. The face suddenly smiled strangely, then disappeared quickly. Soon, Shen Mengchen retreated and said, "There is a huge strange tree blocking the way. I'm afraid that tree. Not easy." 96%. Chapter 578. Lin Haoyang's brows condensed, making Shen Mengchen difficult to say, and his strength is bound to be extremely powerful. At the very least, it is at the same level as Shen Mengchen, which means that he has reached the peak level of God transformation. This kind of existence has lived for 50,000 years, and the strength may be even stronger. Demonic beasts such as plants, once wisdom is born, it will be incomparable. Lin Haoyang had encountered it before and almost overturned. 10-armed fellow Taoist, do you know some specifics? Lin Haoyang asked. 10 Arms thought for a while, and finally said, I don't know much, I only know that the vegetation in the ghost forest is weird and can swallow each other. They are like one plant, and there are thousands of them. During the victory period, the entire ghost forest. The legend is one plant. After so many years, the extremely powerful plant must have died, and the current plant should be a branch of him, which has grown anew. Quote. Lin Haoyang felt a little dumb when he heard the words of the 10-armed blue-skinned tribe. This is so similar to the cannibal vine. If it doesn't matter, Lin Haoyang doesn't believe it. He was also strange before. Where did the ogre vines come from in this world? It is very likely that it was the seed that fell out of that powerful ogre vine in the ghost forest. That's why the cannibal vine of Yuehu was born. If it was so, this difficulty would be nothing. The roots of the ogre vines are afraid of water. If they make good use of this first level is actually not a problem. Then, Lin Haoyang quickly told everyone his own guess. After hearing this, the 10-armed blue-skinned tribe couldn't hide the joy on his face, saying, That's right, it's called the ogre vine. I remember the story of the wizards and their inheritance. It seems to be called by this name. Hearing the affirmation of the 10-armed blue-skinned tribe, Lin Haoyang gave another 3 points of confidence in his heart. Fellow Taoist, this cannibal vine is extremely difficult to deal with, even if it is equal to his realm, it has all its roots, and it is comparable to the power of a digital same rank. Even if he is only the late stage of the god, but the digital god of the late stage is killed together, we may still be invincible. Lin Haoyang said. Since Lin fellow Taoist has encountered it and mentioned it again, he naturally has a countermeasure. Just say it, Lin fellow Taoist, I have no objection. Yang Sheng said. As he said, they didn't recognize this thing, even the name, since Lin Haoyang knew it was weak, they didn't mind letting Lin Haoyang direct it. Moreover, there was an agreement before coming to listen to Lin Haoyang after coming in. Lin Haoyang looked at Jian Shu and Shen Mengchen again, and they didn't say much, and nodded, expressing their approval of Lin Haoyang, just call them. The cannibal vine has a lot of root coefficients, and one tree becomes a forest. However, the cannibal vine has a fatal weakness, that is, its main root is extremely afraid of water. Once it gets wet, the ogre vine will soon become thicker. Death, Lin Haoyang said slowly. This is the first time that everyone has heard of such a magical species. After the plants are cultivated into demonic beasts, they are very powerful. They have not heard that the plant demonic beasts are afraid of water. But for Lin Haoyang's words, they also believe that there are too many things they don't know about in this world, and they are afraid of what is strange about water. Lin Haoyang thought for a while, thinking about it, it is not so easy to do so, forcibly attacking is definitely not possible, and the method of smuggling must be used. As for how to smuggle, Lin Haoyang had already thought about it, relying on the Buddha pagoda, and rushed directly. There are not many other things in the Buddha tower, just a lot of water. If the ogre vines really don't have eyes, then he doesn't recommend a fish to die. Of course, if the fish is dead, the net may not be broken. He has prepared too much this time and it is impossible to be planted in this first level. Explained to everyone, everyone was shocked by Lin Haoyang's treasure. There are such magical items in the world. I don't know which items are such magical items ranked among. Yang Sheng suddenly remembered something. In Kaishan City that day, Lin Haoyang threw out a few extremely powerful magical items. Jian Shu and Shen Mengchen may not know, but Yang Sheng was in Kaishan City that day. He had seen several magical items by Lin Haoyang. The 4 Dao item spirits should be one of the 4 magical items. As for Ji Lingxi's hammer, he didn't count, he knew that it was Ji Lingxi's magical item. Lin Haoyang has 4 magical items with incredible power, and his strength, I am afraid that he is not afraid of encountering the late stage of the God of Transformation. Moreover, you still don't know if Lin Haoyang has a self-defense treasure from Ji Lingxi. If he is an extremely spiritual child, such an excellent disciple, he naturally needs to be protected, and a lot of body protection hair packages are given, but he can't die anyway. Zhu Chongming is the head teacher of the 7th Order sect, and he is extremely powerful, but Lin Haoyang was able to kill him in seconds. With such an existence, who would dare to provoke it now? Anyway, Yang Sheng would never dare. I didn't say much, this is the advantage after having the strength and deterrence. Now he has taken out the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda and he doesn't have so much scruples. The 8th stage Profound Crystal Pagoda flew out of Lin Haoyang's eyebrows and hovered in front of everyone. Everyone, go in directly, the space inside can accommodate living people. Lin Haoyang said. Jian Shu saw the 8th stage Profound Crystal Pagoda, the corner of his mouth couldn't help but twitched, and then he looked at Lin Haoyang fiercely. Others can't recognize this thing, but he clearly recognizes it, 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda, when they went in together, can he forget it? IFK, Lin Haoyang actually still has a magical item in his hands. Is it too strong? And this thing is not an ordinary fairy magical item. Being able to suppress 2 magical items of immortality at the same time, the rank of this 8th stage mysterious tower is probably extremely high. However, this breath does not seem to be strong, at most it looks like a tier 7 magical item. Lin fellow Taoist, this is 8th stage Profound Crystal Tower? Jian Shu asked. Lin Haoyang nodded, did not say much, but forgot that Jian Shu knew the 8th stage Profound Crystal Pagoda, but it was nothing. The 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda is now a genuine 7th order magical item, and it is an indisputable fact that the rank has fallen. Otherwise, Ji Lingxi will not rest assured that Lin Haoyang has a magical item in his hands. If it is the magical item of Immortal Dao, I am afraid that those demon emperors and Heart's demon ancestors will come to snatch it. Shen Mengchen was also shocked. He didn't expect Lin Haoyang to have a 7th-order magical item in his hands, but he didn't say much, turning into a ray of light and directly entering the 8th stage mysterious tower. 10 Arms, Yang Sheng, and Jian Shu didn't say much anymore, and they stepped directly into the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda. After everyone entered, Lin Haoyang also entered. Of course, Lin Haoyang went directly to the 8th floor. Go, turn into a small particle and pass quietly. If you can't get through, expose your 5th layer of seawater and threaten him. Lin Haoyang said. The boy nodded, and the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda immediately turned into a small particle and headed towards the depths of the ghost forest. At this moment, the fighting from the outside world had already begun. Some forces that were strong enough to occupy the channel steadily occupied the channel and began to teleport to the underground palace. 49 passages, the human race occupies more than 10, and the 7 combined powers each occupy 1. There are also 6 channels, which are jointly suppressed by other sect forces. Not long after Lin Haoyang and others left, people began to appear in the place where Lin Haoyang and others appeared. 97%. Chapter 579 6 Changes of Nascent Soul. For the first passage, 20% of those who entered died. Of course, the weakest 20% died. Without strength, don't even want to occupy a channel position. Here, the number of people is useless. Everyone is nascent soul and Washan. How many lives do you want to fill? In the outside world, demonic beasts can be consumed with a huge amount of demonic beasts. Here, there is not such a huge group of demonic beasts. Those who can enter this place are at least Tier 4 demonic beasts. Tier 4 demonic beasts are still more powerful, otherwise they won't have a big chance. Tier 4 demonic beasts already have a lot of wisdom. Wherever a large number of Tier 4 demonic beasts are, nascent soul cultivators should also be afraid. Of course, it is useless to transform gods. If a rule is passed, countless deaths will be caused in an instant. The demonic beasts are not stupid enough to use the lives of Tier 4 demonic beasts to find their lives. At this moment, there are 6 Tier 6 demonic beasts, and hundreds of Tier 5 demonic beasts gathered around them, and thousands of Tier 4 demonic beasts. Occupying 2 passages, he came directly to the outside of the ghost forest. They knew that Lin Haoyang and others had already arrived here, and since they didn't see it, they must have gone deep in the passage. Chong, put me down here. A Tier 6 top-grade demonic beast shouted. The best way to face a place like the ghost forest is naturally to send someone to investigate it before making a plan. But now there is no time to make detailed plans for them. What should Lin Haoyang take all the benefits? Therefore, directly crushing the past is the best plan, and it is still acceptable to die some Tier 4 demonic beasts. Soon, Tier 4 demonic beasts began to push all the way, and the ogre vines that were on the verge of collapse instantly collapsed into scum. When everyone saw this, they were overjoyed. Fake. What are you afraid of? Everyone rushed straight to the depths of the ghost forest. At this moment, the giant tree blocking the way suddenly showed a pale grimace, and the corners of his mouth were slightly raised. After so many years, food has finally broken in. You say from time to time. After that, the corner of his eyes moved with a grimace, his eyes moved strangely, and he looked somewhere in the void. To the naked eye, there is nothing, but the year that the cannibal vine has been turned into is firmly locked. In the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda, Lin Haoyang was shocked. He knew that he had been discovered. The ogre vine is stronger than he thought. I'm afraid it's above the god of transformation. The Buddha, controlling the 8th stage, scared him, and can't let him act on as an open up the 5th floor. Lin Haoyang hurriedly said, 8th stage Xuanjing Tower's complexion is not pretty, and it is not a good thing to be controlled by others. Even if he is a tower. However, as Lin Haoyang said, a Tier 7 magical item may not be able to stun this cannibal vine. Futu Ziying didn't have too many opinions. Anyway, it was not her who was occupying the body. Soon, the Buddha pagoda settled in the body of the 8th stage Xuanjing pagoda, and the breath of the 8th stage Xuanjing pagoda was instantly on one side, and a thick, mysterious aura radiated. As soon as this breath came out, the grimace breath of the ogre vine was also stagnant, obviously frightened. At this moment, the 5th floor of the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda was opened, and the overwhelming water appeared, making the giant tree of ogre vines tremble. The breath of the Buddha tower frightened the ogre vine, but the monstrous seawater really calmed the ogre vine. Around, the root systems that quietly surrounded the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda quietly withdrew back. He knew that Lin Haoyang and the others were not easy to provoke, and they really wanted to fight. The release of the monstrous water was a great threat. Forget it, it seems that they just want to pass by themselves, so that's it. And there are better blood foods behind. A lot, I feel like I can't finish eating it for a long time. Roll. The ogre vine spit out a word. The ogre vine's grimace disappeared and returned to the appearance of a towering giant tree. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang finally breathed a sigh of relief, and this hurdle was over. But Lin Haoyang still didn't dare to be careless, and while guarding the cannibal vines, he quickly passed here. Soon after Lin Haoyang passed the master tree of the cannibal ghost vine, all armies also entered here, and when they saw this towering tree, they were equally shocked. What species is this thing? Can it grow so huge? The most on site are the few major tier 6 demonic beasts. But they are still too small compared with this towering tree. This strange tree is probably tens of thousands of meters high and low, and it's big and scary. At the moment when he saw this strange tree, Uyangji took a group of people from the very spiritual line and took a step quietly. This thing is not so easy to deal with at first glance. Go, burn the tree for me. Suddenly, a tier 6 demonic beast suddenly shouted, and ordered a tier 5 top-grade fire attribute demonic beasts to go and use the own talent demon fire to burn this strange tree. In a realm like theirs, who hasn't controlled a little fire method? Both pill fire and infant fire are not weak flames. The flame is small, and the temptation is true. In case this tree is something extraordinary, someone has to die. The tier 5 top-grade demonic beasts approached the strange tree tremblingly. The strange tree did not respond, as if turning a blind eye to him. Tier 5 demonic beasts knows that there is no retreat. Demonic beasts will not burn today. I am afraid that tier 6 demonic beasts will slap him to death. Without him, after coming within 100 meters of the strange tree, tier 5 top-grade demonic beasts suddenly spewed a monstrous flame. Demonic beasts, the top grade of tier 5, are still extremely powerful, and the flames sprayed out instantly rushed to the strange tree. The flames swept over, and the ogre vine did not react at all. He was too large, and this flame might not even burn her skin. The skin of the ogre vine is ignited, and demonic beasts, the top grade of tier 5, feels even more nervous. Is he going to die? However, he waited for a long time and didn't wait for the strange tree's counterattack before he relaxed. Uyangji frowned. Although tier 5 demonic beasts are not weak, when will the flame burn before the towering tree can be burned? Just when Uyangji was puzzled, a vine turned into a sharp arrow, which instantly penetrated the body of tier 5 top-grade demonic beasts. Before the 5th tier top-grade had time to react, he was drained of blood. In front of this cannibal vine, tier 5 demonic beasts were completely vulnerable. Fight against the enemy, Uyangji screamed, and he knew what good things could be that can stand in here. Absolutely not. At this time, the ogre ghost vines no longer hide, and 5,000 vines rise to the sky, killing everyone. Here, the murderous intent is shaking the sky, and Lin Haoyang also stopped in front of him, and he has met a good baby. He heard the movement in the rear. He couldn't provoke the strange tree, but the army is not afraid of it. Even if the strange tree is a cultivator, I am afraid that it will be consumed alive today. After all, there are a lot of Hedao and Demon Emperor forces. Lin Haoyang didn't believe it, those people didn't give anything. Regardless of the situation in the rear, Lin Haoyang looked at the small pool in front of him, and there was a lotus flower open. This lotus flower is golden and crystal clear, just like crystal. Needless to say, it must be a great treasure. Moreover, now that Jian Shu and others are sealed by Lin Haoyang in the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda, they don't even know that Lin Haoyang has touched this good thing. Lin Haoyang didn't say much, but took the refining directly. After some refining, Lin Haoyang sighed. This thing is absolutely good. The rhyme of the avenue, there is an avenue of wood hidden in it. After half an hour, the refining completely dissipated. Lin Haoyang's body was shaken. Cultivation base broke through the 6th floor of nascent soul, and entered the 7th floor of nascent soul. At the same time, his nascent soul has also reached the level of 6 changes and has not fallen. What was even more shocking was that he actually controlled a rule of wood, which was the second rule he controlled. Lin Haoyang was amazed. What level of treasure is this lotus flower that could give him such a huge ascension? 97%. Chapter 580 Mosquitoes. Sacred Heart Lotus. A good treasure, a 7th order spiritual thing, which helped you break through the 6 changes of nascent soul, which is not bad. This thing is rare, you can meet one, good luck. Long Ling said. Sacred Heart Lotus. Lin Haoyang had never heard of it. It should be a kind of spiritual creature in the fairy world. After refining this life letter lotus, Lin Haoyang's strength has gained a lot of ascension, not to mention that the cultivation base has reached the 7th floor of nascent soul. Lin Haoyang's greatest ascension is when nascent soul reaches the level of nascent soul's 6 changes and controls the rules of the wood. Coupled with the half-life rules, Lin Haoyang already controlled 2.5 rules. In this way, Lin Haoyang's combat power is probably a cultivator that is not afraid of the 2nd and 3rd layers of the gods. It took Lin Haoyang more than half an hour to refine the Sacred Heart Lotus, and the war in the rear had been fighting for a long time. The ogre vines are indeed powerful. Thousands of vines come out, and the circle has the strength of nascent soul, causing countless casualties at a time. However, the number of coalition forces of various races is really large, and there are more than 100 cultivators. The 7th order magical item has been sacrificed, and the cannibal vines that have been beaten for a time are riddled with holes. This is also a lot of people, relying on the number of people to suppress, otherwise there is no chance of winning in the same way and alone against this thing. Lin Haoyang was also lucky, and scared the cannibal ghost vine, so that he did not want to fight Lin Haoyang, otherwise Lin Haoyang would have difficulty passing this first level. With a flick of the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda, Lin Haoyang released Jianshu and the others. After the first stage, Shanghai didn't know what danger was in the 2nd stage, and everyone needed to face it together. When everyone came out, they all looked at Lin Haoyang with weird looks. How long has it passed? Why do you feel that you are so much stronger? Have you swallowed any baby? However, after thinking about it again, they did nothing at this first level. It was Lin Haoyang alone. Even if Lin Haoyang really got a baby, are they embarrassed to ask Lin Haoyang for it? The fluctuations coming from the rear were very shocking, and I am afraid that they were no longer in the battle with He Dao. Everyone instantly inferred that the power of the cannibal ghost vine might be beyond everyone's imagination. Well, if Lin Haoyang has the treasure, he can get it. They are not greedy. Everyone, we have passed the first level, and we still need to work together for the 2nd level of the insect sea. Lin Haoyang said. Lin fellow Taoist, don't worry, I need the strength to wait, and I must go all out. Jianshu smiled. Of course you can do your best, otherwise you will take all the benefits. Why are we following along? 10-armed fellow Taoist, I don't know what is the danger of this pest. Shen Mengchen ignored Jianzhu and Lin Haoyang, but asked the 10-armed blue-skin tribe. 10 Arms was not curious about Lin Haoyang's acquisition of the capital's treasure. Although the fairy tomb was dangerous, there were more opportunities. After all, the slightest benefit from the fairy's hand is a great opportunity. Just like the 7th order magical item and spiritual objects, to Lin Haoyang and others, they are very precious, but to the immortals, they are really nothing. It is troublesome to exchange it for spirit stones. The sea of insects is more terrifying than the ghost forest. It is said that there is a very strange kind of insect living here, specializing in blood-sucking places, but all the creatures who set foot in the sea of insects, all blood will be drained. 10 Arms said. Lin Haoyang frowned, sucking blood. It sounds not so scary. He has seen some bugs, more terrifying. There is a special kind of eating human brains and then controlling people, which is even more terrifying. This is just sucking blood, but it is not so cruel. Even though he thought this way, Lin Haoyang didn't dare to take it lightly. Being able to be placed in the 2nd pass of the Shinto path meant that these insects were even more terrifying than that ogre vine. The 5 did not try again this time, but they walked directly to the depths of the sea of worms together. Although it is a sea of insects, Lin Haoyang and others have not seen a single insect until now. The surroundings are scary and quiet, and it is even quieter than the ghost forest. In the ghost forest, there were still branches breaking, and he said straight, "Here, there is really nothing," and the quiet Lin Haoyang can't stand it. "No, just rush over, and then walk slowly, the people behind will follow, what advantage do we have? Everyone, take out your housekeeping skills, slam realm away, and rush directly." Lin Haoyang shouted with a solemn expression. After that, Lin Haoyang took out Junyu. The 8th stage profound crystal pagoda shook the void, and another mountain flew out to suppress the quartet. Junyu, Lin Haoyang's natal magical item, grade 6 middle grade, 8th stage profound crystal pagoda, grade 7 middle grade, powerful, peak of 10,000 ways, magical item from Wanshan Zongzhen School, snatched from Zhu Chongming, grade 7 lower grade, powerful. Everyone was shocked by the 2 magical items of tier 7 and Lin Haoyang's net worth was too rich. At the same time, Lin Haoyang world realm opened up, and several people, Jianzhu and the others also frowned. Indeed, as Lin Haoyang said, their speed was too slow. If this goes on, they will be overtaken by others sooner or later. In this way, their advantages are gone, and they play a fart. No more words. Jeonju's few people all showed their housekeeping skills. Jian Shu slapped the storage bag and took out a sixth-order flying sword from it. At the same time, Jian bluffed his own Janai realm. Yang Sheng threw a sixth-order top-grade bronze bell, and the bronze bell oscillated. Yang Sheng's whole body was also a realm power. This realm power is very peculiar. It is like a big clock, holding everyone tightly and protecting it. The third stage realm overlaps, but only Lin Haoyang's realm is the most amazing, where the sun, the moon and the mountains converge. Shen Mengchen knew that when it was time to use all his strength, as the number one combat power in this place, he would definitely not be able to lose face. An extremely powerful aura burst from Shen Mengchen, extremely powerful. The power of the 9 rules rose to the sky, shaking the world, and a copper bell was sacrificed by Shen Mengchen, and its power was swept away. With a force of harmony, shaking all around, Shen Mengchen's realm instantly covered the breath of Lin Haoyang and the three. Lin Haoyang twitched the corners of his mouth. Hey, I still want to show off his prestige. Now I'm all playing. When Shen Mengchen's realm was completely shaken, his expression suddenly changed, and he said, "No, there are mosquitoes all around here. Go." In an instant, Shen Mengchen led Lin Haoyang and others, and quickly escaped, at an amazing speed. Lin Haoyang is still a little surprised. Mosquitoes. What the hell? The blood-sucking bugs mentioned by the 10-armed blue-skinned people refer to these mosquitoes. Mosquitoes, that is something mortal, Lin Haoyang asked himself. How many years hasn't he seen it? Soon, Lin Haoyang and others knew how terrifying these so-called mosquitoes were. These mosquitoes, all the size of a calf, are extremely large and extremely fast. Each mouthpart is like a sharp sword, extremely sharp. These mosquitoes stuck on the wall of Shen Mengchen's realm. Although their body could not pierce, their mouthparts instantly pierced the wall of realm. Lin Haoyang's complexion changed drastically. Her mother is a mosquito, are you kidding me? What is even more terrifying is this number. How much? Tens of thousands, 100,000, million, unclear, countless. Attack, Shen Mengchen yelled. She was alone against the largest realm, so many mosquitoes were carried by him alone, only he knew how terrifying these mosquitoes were. Lin Haoyang and others did not dare to neglect, and began to attack wildly. Dare to neglect, and began to attack wildly. Dare to neglect, and began